evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Howling About Entertainment for this March 21st, 2021. And it has been a very interesting week. It's been a good week if you're people like us that like to talk about pop culture. Thank you for indulging me in my hiatus with the week off last week, but it just ultimately was... I could not find the motivation to stream from the beach. I thought I would, but just couldn't do it. So I'm back. I'm relaxed. I'm recharged. I'm tan. And I am ready to have a chat with everybody tonight. Lord Thoth, how are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. Welcome back. It's been chilly while you've been away, so I'm jealous. Great to have you back doing the stuff that we love.
There you go. All right. And Fenrir, the man we were worried was going to disappear for a little while, but he managed to get himself some new equipment and has been able to rejoin us. Fenrir, how are you, my friend?
Greetings to you all. I'm fine here in the frozen halls of Valhalla, trying to drink beer and ignore the fact that you were eating a pizza in front of me for God knows how long. I mean, come on, dude. You got to learn. Either you share or you just don't show it. I mean, come on.
I would give you a slice of the pizza, Fenrir, but I have not mastered. I have not mastered the art. Yeah, I have not mastered the art of faxing pizza across the internet to you. So when I figure it out, I'll send you some.
I lost the pool too in the chat there. There was no pineapple on the pizza, unfortunately, everyone.
Papa Murphy's 5 meats stuffed pizza.
Yeah, and they're both weirdly specific when it comes to saying what kind of ingredients are there. So don't ask them to explain.
All right, let's see who's in the chat. Say hello to everybody. Just another red shirt. Good to have you. You are not just another red shirt. You are the red shirt and the wrench in the chat for this evening, by God. Good.
He's the red shirt we send in first.
Absolutely.
And the one who always makes it back.
Max Redstone, the former Max Rottenstein. Good to have you, brother. Good to see you. He is, of course, making sure that let us know that he is not associated with Howling About Entertainment. So, you know. All right. Excellent. And 32 Flava Flavs is in the chat. He noticed my misspelling that I fortunately caught about an hour before the stream got rolling. Good to see you, Flava Flavs. He'll be hopping in a little bit later. Alex, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, there are so many nice people here today. I could not agree more. Storyman Jack, good to see you. Just hit 301 subs. Excellent. I am sure everybody here is already subbed to Storyman Jack, but if you are not, I do highly recommend it. He is a good man. He is a good creative in the Fandom Menace, and by God, you should take a look at his work. He read a little bit of it on the Culture Review on Culture Casino's channel today, and I enjoyed it. Keck44, good to see you, my friend. All right. Yeah, Storyman Jack likes himself some Papa Murphy stuffed pizza. That is good stuff. If you have not had the chance and you get it, I strongly recommend it.
Never had the chance.
Yeah. They probably aren't where you live. That's probably true.
They don't. Although I do have KFC all the time.
Dude, I am not going to lie. I'm a huge fan of KFC coleslaw. That stuff is just the shit. I love it. Just cannot get enough. And the best part is I'm the only one in the house that likes it. So we always get a side of it when we get KFC. That's all for me.
That's cheating.
Love it
too. I love that coleslaw. That's great coleslaw.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's good. It's good stuff, man. All right. So there's been all kind of crazy shit. So the Snyder Cut hits this week, and it has been talked about in our channels within the Fandom Menosphere, as well as all over YouTubes and the Twitters and the internets. And that is, of course, what Zack Snyder had to say when he came on to the suicide prevention charity stream on Uche Waniri's channel, The Observant Lineman. So I don't want to spend very much time talking about this, but I do have kind of one big thing and sort of a speculation point that I wanted to get out in regards to what was really going on kind of in the background. So, I mean, I take Uche at his word that there was a discussion kind of after the fact where Zach basically told him, look, Warner Brothers said I had to come on and make this statement in order to do it, and the reasoning relayed by Zach was that Warner Brothers had said, do you want your movie or not? Right. And I take Uche at his word that that's exactly what was said to him. But what I think has been missed, okay, in people talking about this, it's been pointed out a bunch of times that there was no way in hell Warner Brothers was going to pull the Snyder Cut off HBOmax. And I agree with that 1,000%. That was never going to happen. I don't think they were talking about the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, though. I think that they may have been talking about the potential for him to roll out as Justice League 2, not the movie that we just saw the past few days on HBO Max. What do you guys think?
That's a very good point. That's interesting. Yeah, it's possible. There could be a lot of stuff behind the walls of power there that may be going on that we're not purview to, and that is a very interesting take. I think you might be right.
What do you think, Fenrir?
Well, speaking at corporate level, there are main chances that this is correct, but still, though, who knows? They've done crazy moves before and for unnecessary reasons in the past, so it's pretty hard to see what the hell WB is going to do. I mean, their entire cinematic universe that was supposed to be based around the Snyder Cut is a mess, and if this fails, I mean, I'm not seeing it failing in any way, because let's be honest, a lot of people are going to turn on this, but still, if by somehow they're not satisfied by how it turns out, well, this is all going to go down the rug, if you know.
There's an interesting dichotomy that's going on behind the scenes here too, right? We've got Bell or AT&T, and we've got Warner Brothers. We've got it's kind of like the bigwigs are deciding how they're going to deal with this property, and I think that Snyder, he's looking to the future. I think you're right. I think what's going on here is what would make him betray the people that got him there, because that's what he did. He outright betrayed them, like knife in the heart. From the front. He didn't even do it in the back. He came forward and he said, this, you know what? We are not associated with Geeks and Gamers. And then he goes into talking about hate crimes and the whole Asian situation in Georgia and his daughters and stuff. Like, how do you start?
Okay, that part, like that? I'm sorry, but that entire part about he was basically using his daughters as some kind of shield at that point.
Yes.
I kind of discussed it for a second.
That's exactly where I was going. Yep. That was reprehensible, if you ask me. What he did is he tried to massage the wound that he just opened there, and massage it a bit by saying, "I have 2 Asian daughters," and that's trying to take away from the fact that he just assassinated the whole live stream.
And Redshirt, you make a fair comment there. That assumes there will be a Justice League 2. And I mean, and that's an absolutely fair comment. And up until very, very recently, I think everybody would have been in full agreement that there's no way that was going to happen. However,
to be a Justice League 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, however, they
can really do a lot of ways to get out of this one. I mean.
The reception to the movie has been overall very, very positive.
Even amongst us, amongst the biggest detractors to Zack Snyder's superhero version takes on these characters, which is an awful, awful take on the classic Silver Age characters. A lot of us are saying that actually wasn't bad.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. High level. I liked it. I thought it was great. I really did.
It was great. I specifically liked how they did the superpowers. It was unlike anything we've yet seen. From the cinematic universes they're doing.
And Max, that's exactly the impression that I got. That it was kind of some kind of last minute thing that he got hammered on him by the studio. I have no reason to disbelieve Uche when he said that they had that conversation afterwards. I mean, Uche is an honest guy as far as I know, and I don't see why he'd say anything that wasn't true on this.
I think the executives of Warner Brothers had a call with Kathleen Kennedy on how to totally assassinate and upset the fan base to cause this furor amongst the crowd, because that was a good way. That was a good way to upset everybody.
Yeah. And, Alex, you make a really good point. Zach's probably a
he
good
really
guy,
does.
but he really messed up.
That's everything I hear too from the guys behind the scenes, from all of the people that he's been there with the fans. He's one of the guys who appreciates the fans, and that's who got him there. The only reason this movie gets done is because the fans demanded it, and there was a big social media fervor. Everybody was saying, "Hey, we want to see the Snyder Cut. We want to see the Snyder Cut," and that's what happened. So, yeah, absolutely. And the other live streams he was on, where not one comment about this stuff was ever made by him to these other live streams, and then it comes on the Geeks and Gamers one with Uche's channel there, and he does that. I mean, come on, it's obvious what that was for.
Oh, for sure, man. And it's I really do think that the threat that was placed on Zach to say the statement had everything to do with the potential of a sequel. I really do. Now, whether
it's all about money.
Whether we see it or not,
it's all about.
Who knows? But I do believe the threat that caused him to say it was related to the potential for a sequel to the movie. But all right, man.
That. Or maybe some kind of spin-off. Let's be honest. It would have been a smart move if instead of some kind of crazy sequel, they did a Game of Thrones kind of like Justice League live action show, like something kind of like the old cartoon from the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was absolutely a corporate virtue signal. I mean, one thing was certain to me is that those were not his words. I knew that. I knew that.
I went to a couple of streams when I came back. I went to a couple of streams, said some shit, but some went on. I really had some time to rethink. I mean, I'm not gonna turn back some of the things I said, but still, though.
Yeah, I mean, was it shit? Yeah. Was it? Were those his words though? Definitely not. He didn't write that. He didn't prepare that statement. He was given it.
No, it was just too out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's it. I don't want to harp on it any more than that, because it's really been talked to death. So let's move on to talking about the actual movie itself, though, because that is a positive topic. At least for me. So let's do high level reactions. And if you want to give it a rating out of 10, let's do that too. Thoth, let's start with you, my friend.
6.5 out of 10.
All right.
There's a lot of stuff in there. Okay. High level. It was head and shoulders better than that travesty we got a few years ago from Joss Whedon. Because that was an awful movie, and I went out of that movie almost as bad as I went out of The Last Jedi, because I was so upset with it. I am a classic Silver Age comic book fanatic fan. I love it, and I think that what they did to the characters was a travesty. This one at least fixed some of the problems in the first one, and I think the plot moved a lot better. My wife and I sat down and we watched it, and I gave her the option, hey, do you want to just watch half of it, and then, maybe we'll watch the rest another time? And at the halfway point, I said, do you want to keep watching it? She said, yeah, I like what they're doing with Wonder Woman. She's my favorite character, and let's keep watching it. And she's a normie. She is not a superhero fan, and she liked it. I asked her after the movie, what did you think? She said, I enjoyed it. And I thought I would never say that about a superhero movie. And myself, I really enjoyed it. It didn't drag, although some scenes could have been cut. Anything to do with Ezra Miller and the Flash stuff could have been cut out of the movie, because I hate him and I hate that character. and I love seeing the Martian Manhunter.
That was cool.
That was one of the things that made me smile and go, yes, because he should have been there, not Cyborg. Although Cyborg was treated a lot better in this version. And the only thing that I wanted to see Hal Jordan, or at the very least a Green Lantern. You could have easily shoved in a John Stewart cameo.
Well, there was the
corpse.
No, I don't mean I don't mean that alien Green Lantern at the beginning from
no, not the corpse, man. The corpse, a literal corpse in the Superman end.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to see either Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, would have handled Guy Gardner, and even settled for Kyle Rayner, even though he's the worst of the four. But I just think that it was good, not great, but really what happened, it was Zack Snyder's take is that's the way he does movies. It's big popcorn action. And he does that probably better than anyone in Hollywood. So yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it. and I know Klobby is going to smack me if he ever sees me and saying, it's like, because he talks about Man of Steel. But, I did forget one last thing. Superman. So I don't like this version of Superman, but I can deal with it because one, his Lois Lane is a ginger, so hell yeah, Amy Adams. Two, the black costume is sweet. The Kryptonian burial shroud, I love that. But in the last scene, he should have been in the blue and the red and the gold. He shouldn't have been in the black costume at the very end when he was taking on Steppenwolf. That should have been that's a no-brainer to me. You got to bring out the classic.
We lost Fenrir. I'm sure he will be back shortly.
That Superman in the axe scene was wow.
Yeah. We don't want to get in. I mean, I don't know how much can you really spoil this. Well, I mean, it is a new movie, right? I mean, this was a totally different movie. This was not the same movie that we saw in 2017. Not even close. All right, Fenrir's trying to reconnect, so we'll get him back in and just no, don't worry about it. I just hadn't given a spoiler warning yet. That's all. Because we're still at high levels. You see, I'm not sure if Fenrir is back or not. I'm seeing.
Yeah,
so
I'm back.
Looks like your camera might be on, Fenrir.
Yeah,
I tried to avoid.
That's why I'm putting my hand on the camera.
Most of the spoilers that I could. I just stayed high level as best I could.
All right, very good. All right, so Fenrir. High level reactions and a rating and a little bit of the whys behind where you're at there.
Okay, here comes a huge rant. Most of the things I agree with Thoth on the points. 6 out of 5. Mainly because I'm still pissed on the fact that I didn't get an accurate Iris West. Because of course I'm a huge fan of redheads in comic books.
6 out of 10.
I knew there was a reason I liked you, Fenrir. Gingers are going to inherit the earth. Did you see that? Alex there is saying to put your pants back on.
Yeah. we saw a little bit of something. I think it was a finger, but
okay. Enough of that. Enough of that from both of you.
I know you don't go on camera, so I just wanted to make sure you knew it was on.
The world's not prepared yet to see my mug.
Oh, your mug. Okay. That's okay.
Right. Keep it rolling, my brother. I want to hear more.
Okay.
Don't go into any significant spoilers yet. We'll get into that shortly, but we haven't given the hey spoiler warning yet. So
okay, yeah. I loved Vigilante.
Yeah.
And a wild
hey, Nick
Wise.
Nick Wise.
Oh, the two of you decided to show up. Okay, as I was saying.
Trimmer, I'm sorry. Vigilante wins here.
I'll never get sick of listening to that. Okay, as I was saying, the movie was pretty much the same plot, but I loved the execution. It was different, a lot better, and had a bit more sane. Cyborg actually looked like an actual character, and Ezra Miller was less annoying. I enjoyed the way Flash used his powers. It was very creative, and in a very way which I don't think we've ever seen it being used like that. I mean, in shows like The Flash, they have numerous characters for super speed, but the way he used it in this movie was pretty unique. Going on, I hate the fact they reduce members of the Justice League when it comes to power levels just to make them look like nothing in front of Superman. Because again, the Justice League exists with the most powerful members of the whole planet, nay, the freaking universe. So it really annoyed me that they really minimized them, because Wonder Woman can literally go toe to toe with Superman, as is a Green Lantern, as could the Flash, as could Captain Atom, as could pretty much anyone that literally is in the league. Some couldn't stand their own, but still, they could survive.
Just a side comment. That's because he pulls his punches. I think if he went like in this scene where he had lost his mind, that was the full power of Superman.
I don't think it was even quite full power, to be honest with you. He got close to full power in the fight at the very end.
Oh,
right?
yeah, with
even then,
yeah.
Even then, I didn't feel like he was going full power.
I want to see him go up against Darkseid. I want to see that.
Yeah, that would be legendary. I mean, imagine just with the same action scenes and effects of fight between Superman and Darkseid. Just imagine that.
All right. God,
It'd be catastrophic.
I liked your description. Anything else at the high level you want to go over, Fenrir?
Yeah, Cyborg actually seemed like a character. Ezra Miller still sucked to me in appearance-wise. I liked how the character went. The guy just sucks to me. I'm sorry. I'm allowed to not like who I don't like, and Ezra Miller is one of those people on the list, next to Tom Holland.
Ooh,
Fair enough.
Holland.
Yeah, me and him are not good.
Holland's a terrible Spider-Man, period.
I agree. I'm not a fan of him as a Spider-Man, but I don't have a problem with him as a person like I do as
I'm not a problem with him as a person. Let's just say that, look, have you ever just disliked a person just for reasons you do not know why, and just feel this huge tingly rage every time you see him smile with an endless fucking smug?
I got reasons I don't like Ezra Miller, man.
There's a long list that would take 2 or 3 hours to go through.
I mean, the number one is 10 fingers around a pregnant woman's neck. That still pisses me off. But
yeah. I liked the fights between Darkseid. Loved how they showed him against the gods and did a good execution, showing that he was inexperienced because modern Darkseid could pretty much kill everyone there in that field. But showed him as a weak and young, unexperienced warrior, which makes us really show how most dangerous he wants to be in the modern time, which will be left for another time.
He must have Alzheimer's too to forget where he left his toys.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense. I mean, this is Darkseid. This guy literally doesn't forget hate.
Very fair criticism of the plot in the movie. Absolutely agree.
Unless his dad showed up and slapped him in the face for failing and gave him amnesia. I really can't see that working.
Godzillionaire says that once Gary mentioned how Ezra Miller was running, he can't unsee it.
Oh, man. I couldn't unsee it. So I haven't seen the movie yet, but like, you know how clips play, and they had a side by side of Ezra Miller running, and it was the Superman fighting everybody scene, and side by side, and just when he runs, it's so horrible. It's noticeable. It's like it's like I can't stop watching the. Oh, it's so terrible.
Where he's like throwing his hands out in front of him instead of just fucking running.
So far, the best Flash has been Quicksilver in Days of Future Past.
Exactly. And another thing, the only way I can really think they can fix this thing about Darkseid forgetting where Earth was if there was some intervention from the new gods, from New Genesis or something, because that's the only way I can actually see some kind of sense. Because again, they are pretty much the only army that can go toe-to-toe with his.
Yeah,
all right.
You mentioned just as a quick one here, comic book stuff. So you mentioned Yuga Khan, which is Darkseid's father, and he's trapped in the Source Wall. If you're going to go into the anti-life equation and the infinity formula, all that stuff, right? You're gonna start talking about the New Genesis, the old gods too, with the High Father and the new gods.
Yuga Khan has to be in that.
Cool movie, man. We got to go Kirby. We got to go old school. Not this Eternals crap like they've been doing on the Marvel side.
It has to be literally like, I would have no problem if they did a shot-for-shot copy of the freaking comics showing Yuga Khan as he is at his maximum. He literally scares the shit. He literally scares the shit out of both of his sons. And then at their prime
too, right? You got Steppenwolf should be a higher level too. Like I get where I'm going to stay high level, and it's an interesting villain, but I like this version of him better than the Josh Whedon version.
He sure looked better. God damn, did he look better?
Yeah,
all right.
He did. I still got something else to say. I'm sorry. This is taking us a long time.
Let Fenrir talk because I have nothing to say. Go ahead, Fenrir.
Okay, yes. I enjoyed the great cameo from the Martian Manhunter. For years, I've been a huge fan of John Jones and his adventures, but I hate the fact they had to cut an emotional scene between Martha and Lois just to bring him in. I mean, what was the point of that?
Interesting point, actually.
Really different way.
That's an interesting point, actually. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I hate the fact. I love that they did a callback into one of the old Green Lanterns, Yaga Rog, or what was his name? I'm gonna forget. Man,
Jan Rog?
I haven't read it. Yeah, Rog. I love that they did a whole call on him. Really wish they would have done a bit more with that and actually gave us one of the other lanterns or some flashes of either Hal or John or Guy or Kyle or any other of the lanterns.
You could have done Ibn Sur too, right?
Ooh, interesting comment from Godzillionaire.
Yeah, they could have done something like Ibn Sur tried fighting against one of the Apocalyptians or something and was killed.
Is Calabac in this movie?
No.
But we did get to see Granny Goodness, which was a nice little
and Desaad.
Desaad. Yeah, bringing Desaad in was so important, though.
Right? No, big time important.
Yeah, and with Granny Goodness, or resistance proven, we know that the female Furies are on that around, which means that Mr. Miracle isn't that far away.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think Godzillionaire.
Gina is
would
big
love-
hashtag
Right.
Gina is Big Barda.
I would love a movie.
And an awkward
I
stare
would
between
love-
Superman.
I would love a movie.
And
I
who's
remember
Mr.
this-
Miracle then?
Look,
What are we
look,
gonna?
I remember this crazy. I remember this crazy comic book where Darkseid made a sex tape of Superman and Big Barda. That
Yes,
could work.
I
if we
remember
do
that too.
Cavill and Gina. that could work. That could work. I mean, it could work a little bit. So yeah, I liked the callbacks to the Robins. Hate that they're gonna make the Robin who died Dick Grayson. Would have loved it if it was Jason Todd better. It would have been better if it was Jason. Or if instead of just saying one son, Joker could have said 3 or 4 sons just killed, which would have actually made
I
more
don't like
sense.
that. So wait. Wait. Dick Grayson was the Robin that died instead of Jason Todd?
Yep.
Yeah, Snyder.
And they
Snyder
wanted
changed that.
wanted Superman's son to become Batman. Ugh.
Yeah, Lois gets
terrible
like,
idea.
Did Snyder actually say that, or was that just some
Said
bullshit in an article?
Oh, he
he
says
said
a
his
lot
idea
of
was to
things.
get Lois
And that's
pregnant
one of
with
with Bruce Wayne.
Bat Baby.
Yeah.
Bad
There was-
baby.
Yeah.
Well, there was. I mean, I remember
Okay,
hearing
Wonder if they're gonna
something
do it-
about
I
a
wonder if they're going to do it on
relationship.
top of the Batmobile, like we know who.
Oh my god. So okay, so
no,
no
Penn
love.
said it was pimp.
So basically, what we're saying that even though the Snyderverse won't continue, nothing of value will be lost. Even if this movie is good,
Got
even
it.
if you like it, if
Yeah,
that's
pretty
where
much.
they were going, nothing of value was really lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
You
I
know
also
who would
love
be
the
a fun
callback to.
Mr. Miracle?
I mean-
Do you know who would be a fun Mr. Miracle if you're going to do that New Gods movie? Oscar
Who?
Isaac.
Oh shit, that could
Ooh,
work.
I could see that, Thoth. I
Yeah.
could
I
see
could
that.
see
I
that
really
going. I
can.
could see that going.
Because then
Yeah.
you'd have Star Wars alumni, right? Because we know who we want as
Yeah.
Big Barda. So then,
Thoth
Yeah.
is on point.
All
Would it be
right.
weird if Would it be weird if we called Pedro Pascal for Calabac?
Well,
he
he's
could swing the
unfortunately
big
already
club.
Maxwell Lord in this
Yeah.
weird universe.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately.
also love the weird. I kind of hated the corpse part in the Superman end with Green Lanterns. We don't know which one of them was it. Giving my money on it's either Al or John. Who knows? But I didn't like that. I really wanted a Green Lantern on this immediately. I wanted to see how they would do it in a way that separates from the other movie that we do not speak of much.
Well,
Yeah.
reportedly, Green Lantern was a hot button issue. If I'm not to bring in all the other stuff about the Snyder Cut, but reportedly, the Green Lantern getting in the movie was a huge issue back when it was being produced.
That's right.
Because they have
Zack
plans.
wanted it,
that is.
and the suits didn't.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
I've heard that. I've heard
because
that
the suits
as well.
have their own plan for Green Lantern.
Despite the
They're doing
fact
this
that it would have been much more sense if they got one of the lanterns, like either John. If they wanted diversity on this, they could have gotten John in the place of freaking Cyborg. I don't think it would have changed much.
You couldn't.
Yeah,
You could have
Cyborg's
even
not a-
gone with a woman because
Cyborg's not a freaking Titan.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not a freaking Justice League. He's a Titan.
He's
Yeah,
a kid.
I would have.
that.
Teenager.
Yeah, I would have liked John Jones. Not
John
Jones,
Stewart.
John Stewart. Yeah, John Stewart.
Yeah, but out of that, it was great. I love the Dark Side War of the Past thing. It was my favorite part of the whole movie. I love it. Battles between armies of superpowered beings. And I didn't actually like the whole nightmare thing.
Ooh, that's a
Nightmare
good casting
You're-
too, Godzillionaire. I like
think
that one.
I think you're the first
Yeah.
one I've heard say that,
Yeah.
Fenrir.
Yeah.
So-
Look, I'm not. It's not because of Amber Third. I can forget her, but
Hey,
I can ignore her professionally. What she does out of the set, I don't care. What she does inside the set is what I care about when it comes to the movie.
yeah, as much as I cannot stand who she is off screen,
Outside.
I mean, I don't think anybody here can deny that she is easy on the eyes, and
Oh,
she's not a bad actress.
And she's
Yeah,
mean.
she's not.
Yeah.
She's not.
And
I love
she
hating-
had more scenes than friggin' Aquaman had in this movie.
Yeah,
Jason
she did.
Momoa had less scenes than she did, for crying out loud. Even the post-apocalyptic one, I was like, really?
I truly hated it. I just hated the end with Martian Manhunter. I feel they could have done something much more with the character instead of just making him show up like that in front of Bruce. Hell, I mean, you could have done a lot more. I mean, this guy has a shit ton of powers that are out of compare.
All right. Flavor Flaves.
Yeah, that's about
I need
that.
to hear your rating, high level reaction. Don't go into any significant spoilers yet.
Like we've done.
Yeah, we haven't said
Obvious
anything
nay.
significant yet. You guys have been very high level. Yeah,
They all
we'll go
die in
into
the end.
Yeah, we're going to hit significant spoiler territory soon, but keep it high level for the moment.
Okay, that's fine. This is gonna come off as a surprise to yours truly, a radicalized vigilante.
There's a radicalized me, Robert. What are you doing? I radicalize people.
That's the funniest thing I've seen all day.
Amazing.
Oh man, that is just great.
Oh my god, too good. Anyways, all right. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it. I've only done one viewing thus far, but I did like it. I mean, right now I'm probably gonna teeter on somewhere between 7.5 and maybe an 8. And I think 8 or maybe higher will be decided on depending on does it warrant repeat viewership? Does it earn that? Obviously, I'm aware of the snide remarks of that one guy, but I'm trying to make that here nor there just to talk about the movie on an objective level. Like I said, I was actually surprised at how much I enjoy it. Of course I have some complaints, but that's once again that's me coming from a comic book level, and also even on a movie level, just a movie level, I have some complaints too. But there were some things I liked, and it was nice to see heroes being heroes, and I liked finally having Superman be a hero too. I liked that the movie actually was very coherent. There's a few things I could have taken out, but it definitely felt more organized. It flowed a lot better, not just in the Whedon cut, because let's be real here, that's not saying much. But it had a better flow than the BVS Not So Ultimate cut, because I don't know why that thing is hailed as like some religious entity. I felt like all they took with that was BVS's Not So Ultimate cut was kind of like the whole, no matter how much you try to polish a turd, well, you know how the saying goes. That's basically what the Not So Ultimate edition was. It was still a polished turd. So Justice League was actually...
In fairness, Nick, the Mythbusters did actually polish turds quite nicely in an episode.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Golden turd. Oh, man.
I mean, just I thought I'd point that out.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's good. You did. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I will definitely watch it again. As far as that, and now if I want to take out the objectivity and look at it as a fan level, it'll definitely be if somehow Zack Snyder is attached anything DC related. This is where I part ways and say goodbye. I was at least satisfied with one thing he did, and I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. And it's Draco makes the comment that we're not cancel culture, but he does know that Amber Turd is not relationship worthy, but she does get a hard from him. So oh no, that's his hard no. I thought that's not hard on.
I thought it was a hard on.
Oh, a hard no.
I mean, she's a psychopath, but still.
I think, Draco, you mixed up your words there. That should be O-N, not N-O.
Nah, man. See,
I mean, she's a psycho, but let's be honest.
She's
a lot of
not
guys
that
have been
hot.
directed to psychos in the past.
The thing is, once I know a girl's psycho, her hotness it's like, no.
It's like a minus 3 on the hotness.
It gets down 35%.
It goes from a 9 to a 5 pretty quick with the mental issues.
It goes to
pretty much
9 to 2.
Guys, she caused a shit show.
I mean, she literally took a turd in the bed
Nick,
and blamed it on the dog.
That was a shitty comment, man.
and listen,
I mean, there used to be this.
We're only cutting to the tip of everything. We're not even
just the tip.
Sorry,
there used to be this crazy
we're talking
rumor.
about just the tip with an Amber Turd hard on. What?
Well, hopefully that's not. Hey, you'll be happy not to get that cut off.
You guys know there used to be this crazy rumor that Amber Turd would be the invisible woman.
All right, guys.
Can you imagine that?
I got to give our buddy Scott from Sporking News Podcast.
Shout out to Scott, man.
Just a tiny little bit of a hard time here.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
God bless him. Scott always calls me Jack, but he's trying to blame it on spell checker here.
Okay.
So,
I can't wait to hear what he calls me.
Okay, can you guys just imagine Amber Heard as Sue Storm? Because there was a rumor.
No.
Yeah, I heard that rumor too.
What was she gonna do? Was she gonna take invisible thirds in Mr. Fantastic's bed and rip his finger off, then go bang Namor on the beach?
You know,
Yeah, she was
gotta
going to definitely fuck Namor.
I got a feeling that they probably would have left that part out of the Fantastic Four movie.
I'm not sure. All that female power, yes, queen bullshit. I'm not pretty sure they wouldn't.
That's a whole other
We'll
movie.
see, man.
You can go into Fantastic Four chat. They're going to be doing Fantastic Four. It's problematic in today's society because that's the first family of Marvel. You're going to have
smarter than
white
Reed now.
blonde. You're going to have
Flaming Torch.
patriarchy, ultimate white patriarchy. You're going to
Two
have
white guys, then
Air
two
Force
kids.
pilot football player who's a white guy, big white guy, and you're going to have
Who's Jewish too? Who's Jewish too?
and
Hollywood's not that great with
Human
the
Torch,
Jews now.
right? Who's the charmer, the superstar, right? And he's a white boy, so that's going to be that's a problem.
Who's a super ladies man who jumps on them all the time.
Now, dude,
Another problematic.
Hey, you just watch the Thing is going to be. There's no way that they make the Thing the black guy in Fantastic Four, right? But the Thing could easily be them, right?
But he's from Yancey Street, so he's from he's kind of like the white version of Harlem in the Marvel universe. So he's from the poor section of town. So yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. Like, are you gonna typecast him, or is he gonna be in a van down by the river? I don't know.
Pretty much, he's going to end up in a van down by the river and about 50 pounds like Chris Farley.
The Human Torch will identify as Iceman. That's right.
No. I'm sorry. Every time this happens, I just imagine him banging Bobby in some kind of crazy fire ice escapade in the middle of some kind of fucked up ocean. I can't. Those are my two favorite characters from the Fantastic Four and the freaking X-Men.
Johnny will be the flaming torch. Nick, that Flavor Flav's that was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
The flaming torch.
Oh, all right. We've lost the radicalized Vigilante Williamson. He's gone. Robert's back. All right.
Okay.
I would just love an accurate Fantastic Four movie without any of the modern bullshit.
We're not going to.
There's even a good way to make them the first family. Just make them from the '60s, and they were in another dimension in time travel because of some kind of crap with a nihilist.
Yeah.
How they get their powers. That's how. So they go up. They're astronauts, and they go up in the '60s to discover what this cosmic radiation stuff is. And then as they're coming back to Earth, they go through a wormhole, which is easy way of saying is space-time anomaly or space-time temporal anomaly, and you just poof, and all of a sudden they appear in 2020 after the blip, and you have them saying, what happened to the world? And then you have them the 60s type you could do the 60s type uniforms, you could do the 60s tech. It would be so cool.
Even the old Fantastic car.
Yeah.
The tub Fantastic car.
That'd be a great story, man. For real. That would be a fun way to approach the Fantastic
they could even do Doctor Doom. That he was always here, but he was just learning magic instead of science, so he could become more powerful since new forces came to play.
That's the evil Eastern European Empire, though, Latveria. You'd have a hard time fitting that in with the world today because, between Russian bots and the Chinese, I think everybody, they're taking over, right?
Yeah, we're screwed.
All right, guys. So my high-level reaction on Snyder Cut, though, right? I'm coming in right there with you, Nick, at 7.5. There's a few things that kept it from going, up to that A-level quality movie, but definitely a solid B on this thing. 7.5 out of 10 is a very solid rating. Clocked in at 4 hours, and for the most part, there was a bit here and there, but for the most part, it didn't drag. It clicked right along. It was a good, solid movie. There were a few disconnects in it, like. I mean, Darkseid getting Alzheimer's was a little weird. About where
what was that?
Like that is probably my biggest complaint about the movie, honestly. And in a 4-hour-long comic book movie, if that's kind of my biggest complaint, not bad, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
still would have loved a lot more accuracy.
They should have fixed that, though, because that's something that they should have caught when they were going through It's like, wait a minute, how does he not know the mother boxes were on Earth?
Couldn't they have
It would have made much more sense if they just said that. Would have made much more sense if they just said like the new gods are stopping Apocalypse from boom tubing into the human world, so they need the Unity to break their block or something like that. Because the High Fathers didn't do that.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. They should have did that.
Yeah, they needed to explain it. Why Darkseid didn't know where they were.
After that axe blow that he got hit by Ares there, he was in pretty bad shape. Maybe it knocked his memory off for
come on.
Asian, right?
Bad shake. This guy used to be abused by Yuga Khan. I'm pretty sure that's not enough.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, Thoth, because it was something that I wanted to ask. And now I am not a hardcore DC Comics guy, right? So, I sort of know who the Justice League is. I've read some Batman stuff. I've read some Superman stuff, but your Golden Age stuff, none of it. Maybe a little bit of Silver Age, but I never really read Wonder Woman. I barely touched Green Lantern, and never really picked up a Justice League book myself. Just a little bit of Batman and Superman. That was about it. So for me, when I'm watching my other kind of major. Well, not major. My only other kind of bigger criticism of Snyder versus Whedon cuts was I actually liked the battle with the Amazons to get that first mother box better in the Whedon cut. I did like Whedon's version of that particular battle better than what we saw in the Snyder cut. They were very similar, but something about the way they did it in Whedon's cut, I actually thought that worked better. What do you guys think about that?
It was quicker and smoother in the Whedon cut, I think.
Mm-hmm. Agree. A little quicker and smoother.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that by adding another 5 minutes to that battle, that caused it to be a little bit too long.
Yeah. They could have used those 5 minutes to do a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah. And Ares to Darkseid. Let me ask you a question. Maybe this was a part of me not being a massive book fan on the Justice League. But when I was watching that battle with Darkseid, with all the gods and the Amazons and the men and everybody, I was getting this vibe that you guys have identified him as Ares, but the guy that axed Darkseid, he felt very Steppenwolf to me. Okay. I mean, he felt very Steppenwolf to me. Did you guys? Is that just something that I'm missing because I'm not a deep comic book fan?
That was Ares.
Young Ares, yeah.
Yeah, because I just kept expecting to get some kind of explanation that guy was actually Steppenwolf.
No, Steppenwolf is Darkseid's uncle.
Yep.
Yeah, in some versions he's his nephew or something, but it's pretty hard to understand.
Yeah, if you go Silver Age, see that family is a little bit jumbled. So you have Yuga Khan's his father, Darkseid's he's the powerful one. Steppenwolf is his uncle / cousin / but mostly
Uncle Dad's in that family.
Uncle. What's that?
It's a lot of Uncle Dads and not moms in that family.
Yeah. And so Steppenwolf is a
Darkseid.
completely separate character than Ares / Mars / whatever you want to call him, right? So, but yeah, they used a little bit of the DC Olympian gods, which get mixed up a lot with the Marvel versions, because the Marvel versions are completely different because you have Hercules and Zeus and all. So that's a different version in the Marvel universe versus the DC one. They're very much not really involved in the modern age of DC Comics. You do get there's a DC Comics version of Hercules. There's a DC Comics version where Diana has a brother who's also a demigod. So you have, the new modern version of Wonder Woman is she's the daughter of Zeus, not the original classic Silver Age, Golden Age version where she was actually a clay statue that Zeus embedded his power into her to create her into. So there's two different versions there. So a lot of the modern version of those characters cause them to be a little bit blurred. I can see how you would make that analogy between Steppenwolf and Ares easily.
And also what Godzillionaire said here, because they
axe.
talked about how they had the similar weapon. They both had the horns, and they did mention Steppenwolf had betrayed his people. Right. So I'm seeing all these connections thinking, oh, this was the same character that somehow went to work for Darkseid, right?
Two different characters. But Steppenwolf
different guys.
didn't really betray his people. Steppenwolf betrayed Darkseid because Steppenwolf wanted to be the ruler. He wanted to run things. And then there's a lot of old Silver Age comic history that we don't need to go into, but that's what happened was he betrayed Darkseid, and he spent the last 1,000 years trying to get back into his good graces because Darkseid is just
too powerful. They could kill him in seconds. Yeah.
So as a very much a normie to the deep lore on this comic, that was something for me that left me with an open-ended question.
Yeah,
was that Steppenwolf?
A lot of questions that only people that actually reads the book can understand.
Yeah, Steppenwolf is not Ares. No, that wasn't the same person.
Yeah, and Robert says those chiseled Amazon hammer chicks were worth the Snyder version.
I cannot argue with that, but I certainly don't want to get my fourth or fifth Chivo there. I don't want to get another divorce settlement.
And I'm sorry, we haven't had a proper opportunity to greet Ironcaster to the chat. How are you, brother?
Hey, Ironcaster, how you doing, you big Transformers fan?
Glad
welcome to the jungle.
Yo.
Oh, we need to talk Transformers sometime. You're a Transformers fan.
I am.
Yeah, I'm actually planning this crazy talk between me and him all over the U.S. comics and the U.K. comics. What's going on the differentiation of the two?
Thanks, Draco.
Yeah, hammer time.
I still have my one of my most prized possessions is my original Jetfire.
Oh,
80s version of Jetfire figure.
One of my hugest dreams was to buy a G1 Transformers Jetfire model, just the original.
That's one of the best Transformers figures from that era.
I agree.
Because I believe that was originally imported from Macross to be used.
Yep.
The mold was originally brought from
Valkyrie.
Macross to.
Yep, Macross. Yep, not Robotech. Macross. Yeah, it's the Valkyrie. That's that Valkyrie jet figure. Oh yeah, keep it up, man. You know your stuff.
I think Scott must have been watching VDub's stream yesterday. So.
But, guys, I gotta come in. I gotta apologize. We were talking about Amazonian abs.
We were. That's right.
Well, in a lot of other parts.
Refocus. Yes.
Whoa. I mean,
let's be honest. Most of us were thinking that.
Hey, that scene was great and all. I mean, it could have done with a couple of big, giant, stompy robots more, but Amazonian abs are pretty good.
And by the way, it's Jetfire, not Skyfire. Jetfire.
Well. All right. Yeah. But, in terms of, but overall, I mean, absolutely to me, way better movie than the Whedon cut, hands down. For anybody out there who was talking about, oh, it's just the same bloody movie, it's just a little bit longer, man. Not even fucking close. This was a totally different movie.
Wow, Runner. Wow.
Yeah. Other than the main, very extremely major plot beats. And only most of them, not all of them, these were completely different movies. I mean, would you guys agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
In terms of flow, a very different movie. In terms of flow and the tonality, because here's the thing: I was actually surprised. The movie, I thought it was actually going to be a lot darker. So I was very happily surprised to see it have more of a rock and roll type of tonality. Which I feel like it was, and I feel like the tonality was better balanced because BVS and MOS were so dark you couldn't even take those movies seriously. I'm like, guys, this is just I can't even enjoy
it's like
this.
They're trying to turn it into some kind of.
This at least had some
hope
and humanity.
Into some kind of Batman infested universe.
Yep, and that's what I've said all along. I've been saying it's like they take every character and make him dark and gloomy as Batman. If you read this dialogue from most of the characters on a script, you could have thought Batman was speaking the entire movie. Now, I can say that with Justice League, that is a bit different. Now, actually, Wonder Woman, if I read her dialogue, I would say, okay, that's Wonder Woman. Oh, that's Superman. I can actually say that, unlike MOS and BVS.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you guys have talked me into it, by the way. because I hadn't seen it. I wasn't going to watch it because of all the crap.
I don't blame
guys
you.
brought me into it.
Yeah. The
Don't blame
one
me,
thing
dude.
that I liked a lot about this is, finished watching it with a girlfriend, and 4-hour movie, right? And I mean, she doesn't mind superhero movies, but she's not a fucking nerd like us, right? So,
You had to talk you into a 4-hour run time.
Yeah. I mean, she was interested because I'd been talking it up already, and she knew it was coming and everything, and that we'd be covering it and all this.
I blindsided my wife. I said, "Oh, by the way, we're watching this," and she was like, "Oh,
yeah." But no, my girlfriend really enjoyed it, and just like Mary G said, Mary G says it's the best DC movie that she's seen, and
ever.
I don't know that I disagree with her, to be honest with you.
I agree, actually.
They've
been all awful.
Yeah.
Are you guys referring to just the recent DC movies?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I'm not talking
Superman 89.
The recent DC movies.
Okay.
The DC EU, kind of the whole Snyder verse.
Right.
Because they try to kick that off at the same time as the MCU, or shortly after. So the DC EU, I mean, they fucked it all up. But this particular movie, other than a couple of places in the plot that we've already talked about, like, Darkseid's Alzheimer's disease in terms of where the hell Earth was, and a couple things here and there. Other than those, this was a very coherent movie. It told a singular, I thought, well-paced story. I mean, I may be one of the few who thinks that, but I thought the story was well-paced. I enjoyed how they moved through the plot. I actually liked the Flash a lot more, other than that fucking run. God, I hate his run in this movie. Oh, I hate it.
I've seen skinny kids who haven't eaten in days run faster and better than him.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you gotta put a hot dog in the scene to make him run.
That was, I kid you not, my wife laughed for 5 minutes. I had to pause the movie when he's wiggling that wiener around.
The wiggle.
And I'm like,
what happened?
Why are you laughing, sweetheart? She says, no reason.
I know, right?
Okay.
I was like, okay. Why are you wiggling a wiener around?
Oh my god!
Dude, another really thing that I can't stress this enough. I really, first of all, never thought they were gonna get an Iris on this. They were gonna get a Jim or something to join with the Flash. They can get more representation crap, because we all know Ezra Miller does more in those kinds of movies. Other part, still pissed that they turned another ginger into a black chick just because. Kind of pissed on that. I can't stress that shit enough.
They hate gingers between Jimmy Olsen, Iris West, Ariel.
There's 38.
And I'm sick that they use this old stupid thing that Wallace West is black in the comics. Wallace West and Iris West are nephew and aunt, because Iris's sister had sex with his mom, who was a black chick, and had him. No black DNA in his family.
Henry and I need a comic book panel where we can just rant.
Yeah,
that's a modern interpretation too.
This is the thing these guys see. I know it's a rare thing, but there are white families who have members who do marry black people to have kids in the process. So this isn't a thing that cannot be done in the movies. It would actually be a good thing to make situations like that are rare actually seem normal and okay.
They're not really that rare anymore.
Because they give they still give a little bit of tension in some places.
That's a new 52 thing too, by the way.
The Wallace
thing
you just
said. I remember I remember the chaos that came out when they showed us Wallace West for the first time.
Just
I remember the chaos.
Listen, I don't
I was a little kid.
This fetish with making any character that was redhead a black character. I don't get it. It's been going on for a while, and now that I'm aware of it, it's really creepy, and I don't understand it.
Right? It almost feels, honestly, more racial.
Do we need to take V-Dub's picture and just put it over the top of Ironcaster because we got to wipe out another ginger?
He's got to cover the beard.
Yeah.
It's weird. I keep joking. I can't wait till I get to play Bill Burr in his his biography or whatever.
Hollywood might as well just say they denounce redheads. Just say it already. As long as you denounce redheads.
As long as
Hell,
the
I mean,
drapes
they're
match
literally
the
going
carpet,
after
man.
all redheads.
Or-
They're literally going after. I mean, has anyone here ever seen the Magic School Bus?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, they're going after. Well, there's this newer version that I watched with my little cousin when she's around.
It's a teacher.
They're going after the new modern version
Frizzy.
because she doesn't have the Jewish nose and is too beautiful and doesn't seem to be in this LGBT spectrum. Apparently, Jewish people can't be beautiful and have normal noses. Apparently, that.
Oh,
I mean,
didn't
the
know
only
that.
solution they give you
Despite
anymore
the fact,
is to just
despite the fact
outright
that it was never
erase-
even said. I mean, I remember watching the school bus as a kid. It was never said that the driver was Jewish or gay or anything. These people are
And
just
who cares?
speculating bullshit.
Yeah,
No one gives
cares.
a shit. No one gives a shit.
All right, well, hey, Ironcaster, you were trying to get in there, man.
Fuck, this
Oh,
was stupid.
I mean, it's just a matter of the only solution is to apparently just. I mean, we saw it with Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, to just outright erase these characters. Like, whoa, if we don't
Oh
like
shit, the Aunt
representation-
Jemima thing.
Yeah,
I
so
literally
we just
have
gotta
3
remove
bottles
it.
of Aunt Jemima left in my house, and I'm really wondering, should I eat that or should I just keep them
No,
safe?
you got to
Hold on
save
to
a
it.
couple of them.
Hold
You're
on
looking
to
to
it.
sell.
You know
Ah.
what? You said you have 3.
3
Save 2
bottles.
and enjoy the last drip of Aunt Jemima, on your own. So just save 2, eat 1.
Dude,
We haven't heard from
Oh.
Ironcaster and what he thinks about all this.
So the Snyder Cut. To get
Yeah.
back to our main subject.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's let the man speak.
Oh, it's weird. It was like somehow giving the guy like 2 extra hours seems to really make the movie work better. There were some scenes I could have done without, like I could have done without the hot dog.
Oh, you wanted the hot dog. Don't
What?
deny it.
So you're saying
Don't
that
deny it.
you don't get to touch that wiener, so now you're bitter?
No, I'm just saying. Look, I know what he's like around pregnant women. I don't want to get too close to the flash.
That's got to be the chat of the night right there. What he just said.
Wieners, puppy wieners.
Yeah, what'd you think about that cringy corpse-looking singing girl in that scene with Batman and Aquaman in the beginning in the village?
Oh, where the like Nordic girl like picks up his sweater and like creepily sniffs it, and
Yeah.
Which is pretty weird. I mean, I've seen a lot of girls grabbing sweaters from celebrities in the past, and they don't do that. I mean, that's a bit
I'm
crazy
sorry,
weird.
gentlemen. That is a northern East Coast Canadian town, so that does not surprise me in the slightest.
Sniffing sweaters?
Yeah, well,
For Canadian
yeah.
women, that crazy.
As someone who's dated Canadian women, they are pretty crazy. I'm gonna be honest.
They are
Are-
crazy,
are Canadian
I had,
women
like,
that
especially
crazy?
the gingers.
No lie, stalk outside the really creepy. Like she was outside. Apparently, she was outside my house, but didn't say anything for hours. And then
Okay.
texted me, said, "I'm outside your house," and I asked,
I gotta
"Who do you
ask a
live with?"
question. Did she
Doing it.
at some time give you a drink, then you woke up hours later tied up to your bed?
Nah, I never drunk anything from her, man.
No, but
hey, no mystery going on here.
Nah,
no, but
Be honest, Vigilante. Be honest.
have-
There's no
you have her
shame here.
phone
You're
number?
among friends.
do you have her phone number, man? That sounds like a good time.
I mean,
Or when that was coming.
there you go. No, I'm sure you're doing better than what I was then. I mean, she was cute back in the day. Don't get me wrong, but like, I just don't want to get stalked.
Then she
And
got
this is after. This
Yeah,
is
next
after
thing
we
you
had
see,
broke
that
up.
would happen. And next
She
thing
just
you
was
see,
outside my house and
yeah,
not saying anything.
yeah, you
for
really
hours.
did good night taking a drink because next thing you see, you wake up another year later, you have a kid you didn't know of.
Yeah, and no lie, she kind of tried to trap me later. But that's again, don't. They're crazy. Is my point. My point is I have experience with these Canadian bitches. They're out of mine. I'm super strong. Oh,
Hail toxic man flu. How are you? Oh, we've needed
boy.
that.
Yes, now it's gonna be
Nice.
great. Roger Evans gonna steal the show.
LTMF.
Oh,
I
Mary
was
knew,
wondering when he was going to chime in there. I was waiting.
Mary
knew
G,
that
another
that
good
achievement
female
was
in this
coming,
chat.
yeah.
Did she?
All right.
Did she Amber
There you
Heard?
caught it.
Dead, yeah.
That
Yeah, Amber Heard looks like
cringy-
the crazy person who would do something like that.
yeah.
Tie you to
I-
the bed and then steal your baby maker.
yeah. Don't listen to Fenware when it comes to the Wham and V Dub. Yeah.
Hey, some of these women is out of their minds.
There you
Second
go.
dildo, come on. Would you
Not that
really
some of the
take
men
that?
aren't. I know they are.
Dildo,
I'm
would
just
you
saying.
seriously take that risk and next thing you see you have a kid out of nowhere and pay for child support for Christ knows how long? Because let's be honest,
18 years.
Canada would be on her side. It would be on her side.
18 years, and on the 18th
Hey,
birthday,
guys,
they find out it isn't
we're-
his.
We're taking away from Ironcaster here,
They
guys.
sure are.
I did.
Oh, shit, dude, sorry about
Okay,
that.
so
It's just too much.
Sorry
didn't,
about that.
you didn't need to see Barry Allen with his wiener,
No.
and creepy sniffing corpse woman can go, but what else? So, I mean, was there anything else in there that you're like, eh?
Well, I did really like Cyborg. I think you know what Zack Snyder was saying all along, that Cyborg is the soul of this movie. That came pretty true, I'd say. You saw him really go through a big evolution over the course of this 4 hours.
Oh yeah, dude, Cyborg. I mean, I was
he's still
among the
Cyborg,
people.
but
I was among the people calling him Cryborg, but fuck, he was a lot better in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, I gave a shit about his character, which
It was like
I
he
did
got a
not
soul for once.
before.
did he say booyah at all?
No one gave a
No.
shit.
Nope, not in this version. He didn't,
No,
No.
booyah.
which I appreciate
I mean, to be
because
honest,
not a big fan of that silly cartoon version of Cyborg.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know how did that stick? Literally, how did that stick? The cartoon was great. The Teen Titans original one was great, but how did that thing stick?
Teen Titans Go. I don't know, because it became one of those things in pop culture that just
Does anyone that
takes
actually
everybody over.
does anyone that actually respect comics or even like them to the minimum actually watch Teen Titans Go?
No. I
No,
watched
no
the
one
first
likes
few
that.
episodes and went, "This isn't for me."
I like
Yeah,
the original
shit.
Teen Titans.
I watched
I
2
hate
seasons
that
hoping that
animation
maybe some
style.
kind of miracle would happen and shit would change back to what it was, but yeah, I just think I
Yeah.
got 2% stupider.
I have
The
a question.
animation style is shit in Teen Titans Go. Can't stand it.
Well,
It's
they
that
made it's
Kyle
for
Arts
kids.
bullshit.
I get
It's that
that. It's
Kyle
for
Arts
kids.
bullshit.
It's like Star Wars, right? It's for kids.
Yeah, despite the fact there's sex, murder, rocks that probably are Jedi that are having sex with the female engineer, some other crap that makes no sense. Literally talking about exchanging women like they're nothing, that you can't stay attached because apparently being having sex with love, that is what makes you to the dark side. Instead of just
What happened?
not
Where's
being
this all
attached to
from?
people.
Whoa, whoa,
Oh, this is
whoa.
from
Well,
the
the
High
recent
Republic
book.
novel.
The High
Yeah,
Republic.
yeah, this is from the High Republic novel.
Yeah, I
VW.
went a
Like,
little
what are
too
you
deep
talking
on
about?
this.
And I'm like,
I mean-
this is
Yeah.
High Republic stuff?
Yeah, we need to pass out the weed
Yeah.
before we start.
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah,
do.
I have a Chinese friend, Gao Feng. He literally got one of the access to one of the Chinese Star Wars thing translated for me. A lot of that thing, they're really just gonna do this entire part of the galaxy is only filled with Asian people for no weird reason
I
whatsoever. And
remember that.
the base is all Asian culture. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Even he doesn't actually. He's a deep Star Wars fan like me, and he doesn't actually like that either.
It's not about-
makes no sense.
Well, even the people, like, it's just appeasing the government. You know what I mean?
And they're
Appeasing
kinda
that,
making
that
the-
government.
They kind of make the main character into some kind of Batman trope that is Mary Sueish and knows all kinds of things he probably shouldn't know, and does it in
Yeah.
ways that are insanely
Well, that's-
stupid. We both agree in the conversation.
They only know how to
Alright.
write Mary Sue's. But I
He
have
was
a
the
quick
he was
question.
the one who wrote it for me.
Yeah.
I think
What's
Jace
the
got something to
question,
say.
V-Dub?
Okay. Well, no, my question was about Cyborg in general because, and Mr. Freeze has, everyone's talked about how great Cyborg is. Even though he never really told us what his beef was, I always suspected his beef was how he was treated movie to movie, that Joss had a totally different vision for him than Zach. Knowing
He's still
now
Cyborg.
seeing it, so you still consider him Cryborg, even though at least on that level, some of it is validated.
Can I just
I-
make a comment as a non-member of that community? And I think what happened here was Zach treated him with respect. Zach treated the character with reverence. He said, "This is what my vision of Cyborg. What do you think?" He cast the right actor for the role. I think that what happened behind the scenes was Josh took over and said, "We want to put some humor into it. We want to put some laughter into it." But Cyborg,
Pretty much, let's just be Buffy with superheroes.
yeah, and I think that what happened was he didn't like that. He thought that he wanted to be a mature actor, even though he's in a superhero movie, and he wanted to just portray Cyborg as this kind of brooding, deeply troubled young man. He didn't want to play him as a booyah, Like he didn't want to play him as an immature punk. He wanted to play him as a good character, and I think his creative vision really jibed against Joss Whedon's creative vision and was more along the lines of Zack Snyder's creative vision. And when Zack came back in and I'm sure they did some reshoots or they did some more stuff. There's the respect for the two right there, right? You treat the actors with respect. The actors treat the directors with respect. When you treat your actors with disrespect, they fight back. And in this case, it could have been a racial issue. I don't think it was. I just think that the creative visions were so incongruent in this case that's where you had the clash, in my opinion.
Now, importantly, Toxic Man Flu is going to be waiting for the Axel Braun cut of the Justice League.
It may actually happen.
I thought it was going to be the Axel Braun cyborg cut.
Both might happen with Wonder Woman and Iris West and everybody. But I just want to toss that out there because it's like, well, hell, Mark Santos, he made it, JD.
Good to see you, Mark Santos.
But because I'm like, you know what? Even if I don't
that
like
speed limit, I've got my ticket book out.
Like, because even the racial thing, okay, Joss Whedon is an asshole. I don't know that he is, but I don't know that he isn't. So I have I'm in no obligation to defend him against that. If I know he's an asshole, he may not have been, but he should probably not be an asshole in general. But I didn't like how Ray Fisher handled it. But if there is a clear difference from what his characters handled, I understand having a beef with Joss Whedon.
Especially Mr. Freeze said there is good. That's a good point. I agree.
Yeah, it dead on. I mean, Snyder definitely humanized him with the common family issues, just like Mr. Freeze is saying. Whereas the Whedon cut, I mean, he was barely even in the Whedon cut, for Christ's sake.
He really
and there was all the stereotypes of that character from this silly cartoon is what happened, and that's why it was so awful. Yeah.
If you remember, the Whedon cut has the one scene when he's talking to his dad and he kind of shows his range, and that's it. That's the only darkness you see in Cyborg the whole movie. And it made I thought that was kind of a weird thing because I'm like, this guy just went through this action and he was this athlete. He's gonna be in a brooding mode right now. We're trying, even if he is gonna be booyah later, it's gonna take a couple years for him to develop into that character.
I was shockingly surprised at how good he did in this cut. I that character went from being the most hated character I had for the show to
when I first saw the Whedon cut, I was like, no, I don't want to see a movie about this guy in the future. But now that I've seen the Snyder cut, I'm kind of okay with a future Cyborg movie.
That was the plan.
They introduced parts of it.
That will never happen.
It won't happen now. But that was
they got rid of Ray Fisher.
They even had a date for it.
Ray Fisher burned his bridges. That's what happened.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, unless they literally swap for another actor who looks exactly like him, I don't see much of hopes there.
Oh, they wouldn't do that. They would get killed because then everyone's gonna scream at them. Like I don't think. Like, why do they scream at anyone for anything?
I don't think we're gonna.
Oh my god! Is this another stupid bullshit about race?
No, I don't think we're
going to get a good actor
in the future movie unless they do something Titans wise or something. I don't think we're going to see a Cyborg in the future movie. I think Ray Fisher ended that.
I fucking hate modern Hollywood.
What about
here's an
the Cyborg from Doom Patrol? Or isn't there Cyborg in Titans as well?
The Cyborg from Doom Patrol. He's actually pretty okay. That version.
He's a good actor.
Version of Cyborg was actually okay.
Cyborg's a big boy. He's an ex-football player. That character in Doom Patrol. As much as I love Doom Patrol, he's terribly miscast.
Not a bad actor, but just
Titans.
miscast.
Yeah, and Mark Santos,
instead of giving us Hawk and Dove, who are Titans but don't show much, they should pretty much just
seeing Hawk and Dove on screen.
Yeah, I love them too. I love them too. Even loved that they made the part where the Dove isn't actually the original Dove; that she's literally the replacement of the original one that died, like in the comics.
Yeah,
and she is gorgeous. She is
indeed
gorgeous.
A beautiful woman.
Yeah. So Mark, you and pretty much everybody, honestly, has reacted just like that. I have not seen myself anybody commenting saying that they, particularly disliked or hated it. The worst.
Somebody say they hated it in my stream yesterday. I feel like somebody.
Did somebody actually say that?
Remember who in the chat? It was somebody in the chat.
I haven't seen one yet.
Did they say they hated it? I'm trying to remember. VW.
Yeah, you were there too. It was. Oh man, I can't remember. Somebody did though.
I mean, the worst, I think the most vociferous argument I've heard against the Snyder Cut mainly from people who actually watched it or anybody that I've interacted with directly, there's been a couple of people who didn't like that it was 4 hours and have said, they could have cut some out, a little bit out of this and still kept the new coherency that the Snyder Cut provided that we didn't get from the Whedon cut.
No, Jake, I kind of I get where you're coming from, and I want that to be true, but I don't know if Zack Snyder himself is capable of doing a fully coherent story without having any extended edition. Because think about it, BVS. What's our movie? Watchmen, Justice League. It feels like the only
300.
Snyder 300. Zack Snyder seems to only understand a fully coherent story by having it done in long format. I mean, he's just one of those. Maybe it's just the way his brain is wired. He does not know how to tell a shorter story, unlike most others. And I think that's just the way his mind is wired.
Well, I think he'd be fine. It's just a matter of keeping the slow-mo away from him.
Oh,
Yeah, there was a lot of slow-mo. There was a lot of slow-mo in this movie.
Yeah, so
I could have trimmed it down 20.
Ironcaster, give me your thoughts on the slow-mo there, man, because that's been the other main criticism I've heard more than anything was an overuse of the slow-mo. So what are your thoughts there, man?
Honestly, I wasn't really bothered too much by the slow-mo in this. I think the most jarring thing for me was at first getting used to the fact that it was in that 4:3 format with our sidebars just gone. Mind you, once I did get into the movie, I started watching it, it was gone. But if for whatever reason I would look down to like get popcorn or answer the phone or something, I look back and it's like, oh right, the bars are there again.
Yeah.
Slow-mo, like I said, slow-mo really wasn't too much of an issue. There were a couple times where it seemed like I probably could have done without it. I mean, I guess the one that there is no excuse for in terms of it had to be done was the Flash scene, which there was some cool stuff with that, and like the shoes just evaporating as he runs away.
I liked that.
Yeah,
I liked that. That was cool. Like that was a neat effect with him using his powers in his everyday street clothes, like seeing those the shoes blow away. They're nuking him. That's his third time on the stream.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time.
Of course, at the same time, if it's like only his shoes disappear, then in theory, couldn't the argument also be said, well, why not the rest of his clothes? Why not his hoodie? Why not his underwear?
Well, you've already said that we didn't need to see his wiener again. So
yeah, real quick, people in the chat,
skinny thing,
if it exists, people in the chat have talked about it being in parts, not his wiener, but the actual Snyder Cut. What do you guys think about should it have been split?
Are you suggesting we all need to visit Rabbi Tuckman, the purveyor of moils?
No, but if he did as an adult, I wouldn't feel any sympathy for him. How about that?
Don't worry, guys. I hear he has a great sale. You know, you get everything half off today.
Oh no! I'll go ahead and not do that. But do you guys think there should have been a either split into 2 or split into 4 parts?
Yeah,
this was better. This was better.
Okay.
The 4 part was better. I mean,
if it had been any longer than this, it would have needed to be split up. 4 hours is probably about the limit for me, right? I mean, there's other people who'd say, no, fuck that. I can't do 4 hours. But for me,
this was...
that's about binging a season. You know what I mean? And people do that now. That's much more regular to sit down 4 hours of binge a season.
And they did have like 5 demarcation points within the movie that were marked. And they had a part 2, part 3.
Okay. So they did give you that option if you wanted to say, all right, I've been 3 parts and I'll stop. I've heard people criticize that, the ratio as well. Because I was just on the stream, Matt Mardigan was really upset about the ratio. And actually he didn't like that, if I remember correctly. I think he thought it was okay, but I don't think he was too fond of it.
Oh, I hated that.
The segments is good if you want to like refill your alcohol or if you gotta go take a pee or do both. So I felt like the segments did benefit because I only paused it once and then I was able to refill my alcohol to the 10th degree and then keep going.
I was still looking for chapter 69.
Alexander, look at this comment Alexander's giving out. No person could watch this movie on the cinemas and actually stand there without leaving.
No,
without 4 hours
intermission.
Where we would have gotten the plot
You would need an
story
intermission.
and
Yeah.
Power Girl.
That's
Yeah, I
right, Iron.
You would have, if this was in the cinema, there would have had to have been 2 intermissions, realistically.
There had to have been. That big gulp of pop would have been going through me at about the 2-hour mark. And I'd be like,
Trying to build a lemonade stand.
you won't like me when I'm angry.
You know what's funny is the girlfriend and I'll usually have, because we do movie nights and stuff like that, and we usually, even in a regular movie, in a 90-minute, 2-hour movie, we'll usually pause and take a smoke break.
Yeah.
In this 4-hour movie, we only did it once.
Really?
Yeah,
So-
we did our dessert. So we have our dinner. We usually watch it eating dinner, and then we take a pause. Then we get dessert. I fill up my wine glass, and then we go and we watch the rest. Usually that's a 2-hour thing. But we were like 2 hours in, and I paused and I said, "So are we still continuing?" She says, Yeah. She didn't want to stop, which is normally she's the one who wants to pause it. So yeah, which tells me the flow was good.
Yes. I mean, look, I mean, I'm practically a chain smoker, for God's sake. Somehow I get through 2-3 hour streams without having to grab a smoke. I don't know how I do it, but I do. But I'm sitting down watching a movie after 90 minutes tops. I need to go take a smoke break. And
Rajesh Taylor. This comment, Rajesh, I've seen 2 Bollywood movies in my life, and I've barely made it through half of them.
Was one of them Spider-Man?
No.
refill your glass
I
during
did-
the slow-mo scenes.
I did find it kind of interesting watching that initial scene where you had Cyborg, Wonder Woman, the Flash, and Batman going up against Steppenwolf for the first time. It felt like, and this is an analogy I made on the Discord, was that it felt like a Dungeons and Dragons game or a tabletop session where every player made a character for a totally different genre of game. Like, oh, we have our fantasy warrior lady, we have our our cyberpunk heavily modded out cybernetic dude, we have an actual superhero, and we have the gadget slinging detective. And
Valkyrie
I
needs
thought it was
food.
really interesting mishmash where it did feel like they were totally different characters that were being forced to come together. And I did appreciate that with this movie, that it did feel like these were characters from totally different worlds having to come together for a big problem.
Very good point.
Yeah. So for some
remember-
reason, Mary G's comment didn't come through into StreamYard, but it shows up in my YouTube studio. But she said, that people bitching about not being able to binge watch, that because they're getting weeklies, but they'll sit down and they'll binge watch an entire season that takes them 6 hours, and they're complaining about a 4-hour movie, right? And that's what Redshirt was responding to. I don't know why that didn't come into StreamYard, but no, she's dead on.
Yeah.
I think there's a mental psychology to it where people will think that
Godzillionaire.
Can't believe they left.
No volley cuts. We'd probably die before it gets to half.
Yeah, where was Chun-Li, man?
Oh
I
my,
was
you
hoping
were
for
so
Rob
good with this.
Schneider, but what do I know? I would just want some Rob Schneider. And
I was
can I
literally
mention
hoping for
one thing about
someone.
this movie?
I'm literally hoping for some idiot to show up and say, "Where was Hulk in all this? Where was Iron Man in all this?"
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope someone does that.
All right.
I'm not really a Chun-Li fan. I want to see Cammy in this next movie,
Oh,
Justice League 2.
my man.
Oh,
All right. Steppenwolf actually had a reason to exist in this movie. He actually had a
Yeah.
purpose, and that I commend them for in a very positive light, because the other movie, they needed a dragon slay, they needed someone to punch, and that's all he was good for in 2017. So I will give credit for Steppenwolf not just looking cool, but actually having a motivation.
Hey, you know what else was cool about this movie that we didn't get out of the Whedon cut? I know what the fuck a mother box is now.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God,
Right.
I had no fucking idea. And I mean, they were going completely away from mostly the original comic book part, so I was pretty confused what the fuck
They
was going
sure
on half
didn't
the time.
explain what it. Yeah, because I think that's something I filled in my head with prior knowledge.
I mean,
They
all we
didn't
saw
explain it at
was
all.
scenes of hiding the boxes and this kind of crap. Nothing
God,
actually
the Whedon cut was so
meaningful
bad.
about it.
Oh my God!
Well, those weren't mother boxes.
It's like
Period.
how
But-
it's like how when I first watched Buffy, it took me a whole season to understand what the hell a Slayer was.
Yeah,
I'm
those
sorry, I
weren't
was pretty
really
slow
mother
on that.
boxes. Those were kind of those are
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, mother boxes help teleportation.
mother boxes are
Transportation,
just portable
technological
computers.
understanding. Living computers are pretty much iPads for the universe.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're like they're like a laptop with sentience that can teleport. They have massive powers, and they're very limited in who gets them. So you have like Scott Free has one. So you have the new gods, the main guys. Metron has his chair. He's
and it
different.
didn't make sense that Darkseid had mother boxes. Wouldn't he had father boxes? Because the new Genesis have mother boxes. The
Yes,
Apocalypse
they do.
have father boxes.
All right. Hey,
different.
gentlemen, we
Yeah.
got
See, they create
Ace
a boom
Mr.
tube.
Freeze has joined the stream. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well.
Hey,
Thanks for
Ace.
having me.
Yeah, mother
Dude, are you-
boxes
Great to
create a
have-
boom tube.
great to have you. Great to have you here. Let's just shut up and listen to Lord Thought here for a second, because I love comic book exposition. Go on, Lord Thought.
Well, so yeah, the Apocalyptians, which is the Darkseid and his team, they create boom tubes using different energies than the new gods, which use the mother boxes to create boom tubes, which are kind of wormholes in space. They create this interdimensional portal between two locations. So yeah, so that's really what they are. Mother-in-law box. Yeah.
Pretty
The
sure
chat is
Mother-in-Law
determined from
Box
yesterday.
is the title
to
of a
keep
new
destroying
porno.
us.
That's it. Robert wins the prize today. He gets the participation trophy.
Dude, Sentient Dildo, you got to compete with that, man. I know you can do it.
Ding, ding, ding. There it is. It's on.
Dude,
Round
so-
one.
When I was your age, my grandfather box had to take me to school uphill both ways.
In a snowstorm. In
Dude,
Florida.
And we had to share one pair of shoes.
And one pair of underwear.
I got to wear the left one on
Whoa.
Tuesdays.
Oh boy. So, Mr. Freeze, what was the best addition in Snyder Cut versus Whedon that added something of quality for you?
So, I mean, it's going to out me as a DC fanboy, but Martian Manhunter, I was just like, oh my god,
Yeah, right?
yeah, it was really special. He looked right. I like how he just floated off afterwards. I also just like how he got involved, just interjected himself into the drama without anybody knowing, which is sort of his style.
That is his style. Yeah.
So
That is his
I really
style.
like that. The Flash running back in time. I mean, when you're not zoomed in on the Flash running, but when you're zoomed out and get to see all of that cool literal world building or
The
rebuilding,
Speed Force. The literal
Yeah.
Speed Force
Yep,
was
Speed
beautiful.
Force.
just it was a great moment, and I liked the pacing. I thought the beginning was really slow and kind of stupid, but it got off so good at the end.
You didn't love that pale corpse-looking woman sniffing Aquaman's sweater?
I don't even remember that. I gotta try that again.
Yeah, that
like-
part stood out.
When they all when the
No, the
whole-
Amazonian ab
come
women
out
stood
door and
out.
just start singing in Norwegian.
Yeah, if we showed a guy doing that to something belonged to Wonder Woman, we'd have a lot of screaming on the internet.
I mean, the ladies singing up in wherever were they in Canada?
Newfoundland, I believe. I think it was the Newfoundland
Okay.
flag in the background. Yeah.
Okay, well, they don't sound like Newfies, but
Again, Jesus Christ, they're trying to
You
make me
look at all the fancy
they're trying to
lingo.
make me afraid of Canadian women. They're trying to
It
make
could
me
have been
afraid of Canadian
Labrador.
women.
I think that might have been Labrador along the coast, maybe, but I'd have to
Okay,
go back.
I
and
am
do some
seriously
research.
I
asking.
did
you-
like the singing.
You should
though.
probably be
To all
afraid
the-
of women no
okay.
matter where they are.
Okay,
online.
I'm seriously asking
Have
this
no
to all
fear.
the Canadian men in this comment section or anywhere else. Should I be
Which is
afraid
me?
of Canadian women for my life?
Have you read much Lovecraft? Because Innsmouth comes to mind.
A couple of chapters, not pretty big on it. Nah, didn't finish
I
it off.
love that you compared Canadian women to Lovecraft and Cthulhu mythos. That is the best thing ever.
Have you seen them blink? It doesn't look quite natural.
I'm glad my wife didn't hear that.
Okay, so
Did
Martian-
Thoth earn another achievement?
No, not
Hope
that
not.
time.
Okay.
Not that time.
I will earn my
He's
misogyny
fucking-
badge one day.
Oh, you want a misogyny badge? You want a misogyny badge? Okay,
look
try
at
to
this.
think about this.
Look at this. Look what V-Dub's got here, man.
All right.
Oh,
Ro-
60s.
All right, closer. I want to see. I want to see.
Dude,
if you guys not.
yeah.
No, get us a bigger
Is
shot
that
of
the
that.
Migo one or the Migo knockoff one? I mean, the
this
Migo
is
knockoff
a-
one.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see
I
those
gotta be
Martian undies. Martian
Okay,
undies.
here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Martian
These
bulge.
undies.
Martian
Dude.
bulge.
Yeah, he's
DC
like it.
Super Friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Mattel knockoffs, right?
yeah, they're like knockoffs of like classic.
I think it's Mattel, isn't it? Isn't it Mattel?
Yes, Mattel. I also have. Can you see Green Arrow over there?
Yep.
Yes.
That green arrow. Oh.
Beware the
Beware of Canadian
beware the
tentacle
Canadian
whammon.
tentacle whammon.
Yeah, that's what
All
we
right,
need to
that's
watch
pretty
out
much it.
for.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay, you want a
Martian
misogyny
Manhunter-
badge winning. You want a misogyny badge winning. Let me tell you something. Women
Hold
and
up.
men have different emotional thoughts.
Yes.
Let's be honest. I can call half of you a son of a bitch. Most of you wouldn't give a shit or would look for a different way to send me back to me. We say this kind of crap to a woman, she'll probably cry at us, call us a misogynist, a monster, and all kinds of other shit.
Fenris,
Send me my
But
badge.
also
Hey,
things
wait,
land
hang on.
differently. You tell me.
Hold
a
on,
sentence-
guys. Jake's got something to say.
I've got just 2 words for you, Fenrir. Blue waffles.
Yes.
How does that keep coming up in our streams, man? Like,
Why the fuck do you keep bringing that up, JD?
Oh,
That's
we
like
can
the
go
dark
way
side.
further. We
Christ
can go way
makes you
further.
bring that up.
Because one of these days you're gonna get curious enough to look.
No, I have free will. I am an adult.
The
Not
force is
stupid enough to go
female.
look.
I
And
said the
much like
same
Lovecraft,
thing.
you're changed forever by having witnessed it.
Yes. All right. Just like he was
You're all
when he looked up 2 Girls, 1 Cup. That was
You know,
No, that
like
was
living
a
in
shit show.
time
That
machine.
movie.
you know.
That was really like going
I
back
am not
12,
I am
15
not going to
years.
look that up because I am an adult man with a will of steel, and I am not stupid enough to actually look for another shit. You guys coming for me on freaking Google.
Well, if you
Hey,
do
Fenrir,
watch
what you
it,
Googling?
it might give you a great Boston pancake on the side with it. If you don't know about
Oh
that,
my
look
God.
up an Urban Dictionary.
hey, brightest day.
Oh my god, you guys are
Hell,
If
fantastic.
you
Brightest
want
Day.
nice-
We were able to get Brightest Day to 40
What up,
subs
brightest day?
and cultures.
Did we get
Stream.
Brightest Day to 40 subs?
He's at
Oh
40
man.
subs, yeah.
We have got 20 people watching right now. If the
Oh,
10 of you
20
that
people.
haven't subbed to Brightest Day yet were to pop on and sub to Brightest Day, we'd get them to 50,
20
which would be hot. That'd
20
be good
people.
stuff.
Wait, we got 20 people on this. Hell, go sub to my channel. I'm still planning to get it to 100. I'm actually still going to plan again my huge stream in about 2 weeks. I have a lot of other shit I want to look for first. I want to see the Gremlins movie first. I never saw that.
You haven't seen
I'll see it
Gremlins?
first. Never in my life.
Dude. I'll check Gremlins
The
with you.
film was
You
at
wanna see that,
60.
man. So,
You
all
need
right,
to pop that cherry.
I just
ASAP.
have my copy. Buy me at all times.
Goonies
just
and Gremlins. Excellent.
Hey, Eric.
Okay, the Goonies I've seen. I've seen the Goonies. Never seen Gremlin.
All right, so Mr. Freeze, other than Martian Manhunter, man, what else did you think was a great ad in the Snyder Cut versus what we got in theatrical?
I have to say, Cyborg's backstory, his storyline, those emotional threads meant a lot to this movie. I mean, maybe it's because it's been like daylight savings time week. Maybe it's because, I was drinking when I was watching the movie. And like, if I watch a war movie and I'm drinking, I'll be crying. The second it gets out of like whatever emotional scene it's supposed to be, I'll have tears going down. That's fine. But here, I was like, why is this so emotional? And I actually watched it twice just to make sure that it was still like ringing true. So like the next day I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is still really good. It took it out of just being a superhero movie and into that half real world, half superhero movie that makes it relatable in the way that, almost Joker was too much in the real world. But
Yeah.
to my liking.
All right, cool, dude. All right. Then now the other thing is, was there anything in this that you think they shouldn't have added in?
Yeah.
Other than creepy sweater sniffing woman.
Hot dogs.
So, well, I really like the Amazonian abs, the ladies who knocked down those glass pillars. Like, I don't know if that was CGI or not, but I better not have been.
My wife asked me that question. She said, can women really get like that? And I went,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they can.
WWE divas can get
I
that.
work with some women like that, man, and they've got better abs than I do.
Literally the Glamazon in WWE. I thought it was her. I was like, come on, just change her haircut.
They don't paint those on. Those are real. Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
So even with those like
Hell, Eric
treats,
stuck in the chat.
it just wasn't a valuable part of the movie, and the Amazons acted so video game like, walking in formation, doing ceremonies, like, at least in the Marvel movies, they're like picking up phones and talking on comms. Like, why are you walking in formation and lighting fires, sending arrows across the country so that your lady's going to watch it on TV? Like, all that stuff was really bad. And I like the Aquaman editions. They should have kept in the good dialogue and cut out some of the Bruce Wayne time. Didn't need it.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Ascension Dildo is a fan of juiced up Amazonian women. So,
of course he is.
Man of culture.
Indeed, there does seem to be a universal acclamation for the hammer abs women. I mean, everybody liked that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. What man can't be attracted to a very muscular woman to a good degree? The type that is muscular to a good degree.
To Alex's point, he had a gymnast girlfriend when he was a kid, and yep. And yes, Gina
I agree,
for Big Barda.
Gina for Big Barda would be perfect. She has the hair, the right height, the physical. She would be perfect. And she dated Henry Cavill, so they can literally do the storyline of the porno with Superman from the comics.
I mean, Trish Stratus, you still could have gotten her back. She would have been an amazing Amazonian woman. You could get a lot of women to play really awesome Amazonians in a wonderful Amazonian movie that every single woman will watch. Every single man, woman, everybody will watch it. Right. But you got to have story, and you can't have them acting like video game characters. There were a few times that Steppenwolf was really good, and a few times he was
Ace Ascension Dildo busted you, man.
Yo, this had even more Aquaman without a shirt. This was
and
tight.
More Henry Cavill with his hairy chest.
Henry Cavill has a hairy chest.
Yeah, resurrected Henry Cavill has.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
Notice a lack of Aquaman going, yeah.
Yeah, that was
my man.
He still had a lot of those dig it, yeah, kind of things.
Yep, he was a surfboard guy.
He's still Aqua Bro.
I gotta say, it's definitely an improvement for the character. Look, I like me some older Aquaman. I like the Peter Davison run.
Oh, so good. The Peter Davison with the hook. The hook yeah, my run.
Yeah,
that's one of my runs.
We all love Peter Davison.
Okay, some of us don't know that much about that, so please explain.
Okay,
so
he lost his hand some time ago and was replaced with a hook. It was pretty badass.
No, not the hand part. Not the hand
we
part.
have to explain that a bit more.
The older person, the older version, because I know this Momoa one, and I know the one from Super Friends, but
which is very inaccurate because he's always one who can summon. He can summon a killer whale. He runs 7/10 of the planet.
That's why
he can summon
the
monsters
joke was
that
so
can literally
good.
beat up Superman for about 5 minutes. And can summon tsunamis that could destroy the whole upper world.
Yeah, that never came through in my life.
Oh, this was
I did not like that.
This was an interesting touch. Yeah, I'm curious to everybody's opinion on that. I dug Aquaman's weird ass eyes. I liked them.
Well, to be able to see at the depths of the ocean, he needs to have those kind of eyes. He needs to be able to see at depths that would pop the regular human's eyes, right?
Yeah, they were because
they didn't
blended
look like
out
fish eyes.
Kind of. They were almost whited out.
And he's half human too, so you got to give him that. He's a hybrid. He's a mutant. if you consider the Marvel universe, he would be a mutant. He's like Namor in the Marvel universe.
So Flava Flavs, come on. What do you got for me on Aquaman's eyes, man? What do you think?
I'm as a comic standpoint, obviously I prefer the normal looking eyes, but I mean, of course, Zack Snyder translates everything to real life, so I get what he's going for. It does translate as far as how he sees in the water, if you're going to translate it into real life, because that's how Zack Snyder depicts everything. But I mean, it didn't hurt the movie at all, so I'm not going to take slivers of points off for it. It's just, I don't hate it. But I get what he's going for.
I noticed it a fair bit. That's why I kind of was curious to hear the panel's thoughts, because it was definitely noticeable that he did not have regular old eyes like he did in the Whedon version.
Yep. But normies won't notice that. That's really those of us who are looking at the fine detail of that movie. You can't really tell. It's not like it's a huge thing, but that's not Jason Momoa's normal eyes. That's for sure. But I mean, my wife didn't notice it. I did.
my girlfriend did.
Well, my wife said, "Wait, he has eyes."
Yeah, she was looking at two different assets in the moment.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my eyes are up here. Hello, eyes.
Yeah, she was looking at two different assets in that moment.
There you go. And Cavill's lip, yes, thank God. Cavill's lip looked normal.
Thank God that was
good.
fixed. That was awful.
Oh God, that was so bad in the Whedon cut. I mean,
God, I fucking love Stargate Atlantis. It was an amazing show.
Yep. I got the Blu-rays of that. I love Stargate. I've got every single season of Blu-ray. And I heard that actually Stargate Universe now, the second season is out on Blu-rays, or it's coming out on Blu-ray.
Stargate Universe had a second season?
Yep, there was 2 seasons there, and then they canceled it, unfortunately, I think way too soon. I think they were really starting to get into it. It's like Enterprise was canceled too early.
Yeah,
Enterprise was really canceled too early. But
let's
not talk about.
Let's not talk about the holodeck program that was Enterprise.
I really wanted Universe to work. I really wanted to go more into the ancient bullcrap.
Thanks, Eric K. I appreciate that. A toxic man with a toxic wife. Yeah, that's true.
It's all toxic.
She's worse than I am, Eric K. You'll hear it someday.
A taxic wifey, huh, Drake?
Toxic wifey.
Sorry, did my East Coast maritimer accent come in there?
Yeah.
It's like,
all right.
Iron Cod, what are you at, me son?
Toxic man flu, you enjoy the toxic wife, man. I hope that you don't get her too toxic while you're there. So. Yeah, keep the toxicity to a minimum, my friend. Oh, man. All right. So, I mean, anything else like at a really did anything bother you about the movie that we haven't gotten into?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's hear it, Nick. You answered strongly. You go, buddy.
Yes. There were moments where the CGI looked amazing, and then there were moments that were absolutely awful. And I don't know if it's Zach's fault because he just didn't have time to clean those parts up. But there were some parts where it was Wonder Woman 84 bad, and then there's parts where it wasn't like a thought. Like it's just like, oh yeah, that's just really good CG. But man, there were some horrendous looking parts. And of course, there's Barry Allen's weird run, and also Ezra Miller. I mean, you could say he was better in the Whedon cut, but once again, that's just more of the whole polished turd type of thing. But he's still, I don't feel Barry Allen. I mean, yeah, he's definitely more hopeful and quirky, but there's something about this. I will say it and I'll stand by it. I still think Grant Gustin is a better Flash. Even when that show used to be watchable, he was a much better Flash by a landslide.
And he's an awful casting too, by the way.
Right? And that's
but
the
he
thing.
Physically does that thing where he like leans over, like top heavy. Like he does he does a lot of the mannerisms of the Flash character, which is like really odd. He's Nick, you pinned it because I hated the Flash in this too.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
But the Flash from the TV show at least is more like the Silver Age Flash. So Barry Allen. Silver Age Barry Allen. Yeah. He's a forensic scientist that works for the police. He's a police officer. He's a forensic, and he's brilliant. Batman comes to him for help. And
Batman goes to him. He's
a genius. He is brilliant. And so he keeps it low key because he wants to maintain that anonymity from being a costume superhero, right? And that's why that Barry Allen is not a jokester. That's the
That's the best thing about superheroes. About good superheroes like that. They actually try hiding their identities by being different than what they really are. By looking different than what they really are. Because they don't want the people they love to get slit.
Dude, I like this comment. I like this comment from Rayron, man. That Ezra Miller felt he was Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you, Flava Flavs. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, I feel like what you did, if anything, you just added on between you and Ace. You guys both just solidified, because the thing is, when Batman needs to go to you for something, that speaks volumes, and that's true. That is a big thing. Barry Allen is a CSI, basically detective. He has that advantage of the speed. So obviously, I know there's not enough time for them to dive into that whole CSI's part of Barry Allen, but at one point did he feel like a guy who was, a CSI. He was just, I don't know. That was not Barry Allen, though. I did not feel like a Barry Allen.
Working at a pet store, waggling a wiener around. I mean, come on.
Wiener wagging? Come on, guys. You're
And to what Alexander has commented with having to basically turn back time. While I loved the scene visually, it does cheapen the plot line, and then it sort of leads into my other, my issue with it was the epilogue, because I really liked it, but if I'm not going to see any of that, if that's just all, whatever, just hey, here's what Zack Snyder would do if he got the Snyderverse to go, but it's not happening.
Totally.
It's me like this.
Yeah, so I don't like being teased. I don't like being given something and having it taken away. And what you could have done to make this Flash moment really matter was to have, him do that. And then almost right away, I don't know, Reverse Flash shows up, says there'll be consequences for this. Barry.
That would have been better.
That would have been
better. I'm just gonna say it straight. I'm not a huge fan of time travel and superhero concepts. It can be cool if done right with a good writer, but I'm not really into that.
Yeah,
it can destroy a lot of good story plot, making all this stuff and characters. It's just lazy sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean, case in point was Endgame.
Yeah.
We're no longer have stakes as long as we have flashpoints involved. And if you think about it, if you want to get technical with this, between the comic book and between the TV show, and now with and the animated movie, and now in a movie cinema, we're talking 4 flashpoints in a decade? Really?
Yeah, and it was
4
and they literally proved.
Do we really need to do this anymore?
And they literally
it's like Bruce Wayne
proved
parents dying. We don't need to see
and
it
they
no
literally
more.
proved, Nick. They literally proved that that all these universes are connected in the same multiverse. So have they been affecting each other constantly over and over with the time travel too?
I mean, aren't both different versions also trying to call themselves like Earth One? So they're not necessarily connected, but they are trying to be the same Earth. So it's not really fair to say that they're connected.
Well, now as I recall, didn't Warner Brothers come out and Warner Brothers DC? They basically said it all happened. It's all just multiverses.
Of course,
so
every movie ever made.
Wait, so that means there's never. So that means there's never going to be an Infinite Crisis movie because they already did the Infinite Crisis to the screen multiverse. That means we'll never have an actual movie with a good monitor.
So that means
you're referring to the TV shows, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say we already had a Crisis on Infinite for what do we need to have
a
movie level version,
which
would basically be another Flashpoint?
The new Flash movie is basically Flashpoint, isn't it?
It's a Batman movie.
That's what it's called. Yeah, that's what it's called. Is Flashpoint. Yeah. I don't think they're going to create that. I don't think that Flash movie will ever be made.
I hope not.
It doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
Look, the only Flashpoint Paradox movie.
Flash story.
The only Flashpoint Paradox movie good enough for me was the animated one. That was good enough for me.
Just give me a Flash versus Captain Cold movie where I see Captain Cold being super smart with his cold gun and saying, I may be just a human, but I know how smart you, Barry Allen.
Here's a better idea. The Flash versus the Rogues, literally trying to take down a speedster guy.
Mirror Master,
but you can't do that in the first one, though. You really can't. You really can't do that in the first one. That's a franchise. You got to do old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could begin with Captain Cold. Then at the end, when he's in prison, what was it? Heatwave shows up and
Yep.
frees him, saying that
Golden
there's
Glider.
a plan for to build a team to take down the Flash for good.
Yeah, guys, I want to hear what everybody thinks about Robert's comment here because I agree with him.
Agreed.
I liked Deathstroke.
Oh yeah, he
Plus,
was.
Joe's one of us too, right? Joe's a geek. He's a D&D
Yep,
player.
good dude.
He's a guy. He's like Henry Cavill. He's one of us. He's a fan. He's one of us that loves this stuff. I love seeing him cast as Deathstroke. That was a
Agreed.
master stroke.
There was
Agreed.
the
And he didn't
long-standing
denounce himself away when he got on the Geeks and Gamers stream. That was Uche's channel. He just hung in there like he was one of them. No big deal. Didn't interrupt anything. He just wanted to have a nice small talk. So Joe's a good dude. And of course, Joe is a big Slayer fan. So, being me, he was at Slayer's last show. He knows what's good in the world.
Yeah, I thought he looked the shit as Deathstroke.
Oh, yeah,
man. I liked.
He
That
said his wife
costume
didn't
was
recognize
good.
him. He said his wife
The
recognized
hair
him.
didn't look. The hair looked a little off for me.
Yeah,
like
Was it like
it looked like they
silverish?
frosted it.
Yeah, it was like
They did,
it,
yeah.
it was like Anderson Cooper Silver Foxy-ish almost. It was like, well, where are you going with this?
I mean,
Just like
that's the only complaint I can have is just his hair didn't look right. But I do like him as in the casting. Like, I
Yeah.
want to see this guy. As
the hair,
Deathstroke.
man.
I want to see more. I mean,
Well,
I would
My
love
wife
to
said,
see-
"Oh,
But we're
that's
not gonna
Magic
see more."
Mike, that's the Magic Mike True Blood guy who's got his shirt off all the time, right?" And I went, "Yeah, that's him."
But there was a rumor that I know it's not going to come to fruition. We talked about it earlier, but the Ben Affleck Batman series or project was supposed to have him as Deathstroke as the main villain.
Yep.
And I really wish I really wanted
Dude,
that to happen so
want-
very much.
I want more Batfleck. I
want this Batfleck
really.
Deathstroke
It could really
project.
work. A Deathstroke versus
Because-
Batman movie. It could really work, especially if they bring in the League of Assassins in on this one.
So I have a question because I didn't see it, so I've been kind of silent. I really have nothing to add to this. But my question is, okay, we've heard all this. Well, there's no sequels, but they seem to be continuing on with elements of the Snyderverse. Wonder Woman is still going to get more movies. So is Aquaman. So is it possible that we can still get a Batman project on his own? Because Ben Affleck was attached to be the director of that project, not Snyder. So is that still? Is that a way for us to get that? If you're going to do other things that's still in the Snyderverse,
You're bringing me back to my thesis on my original statement at the very start of the stream, VDub, and that was the threat about do you want your movie or not in relation to the statement on the Geeks and Gamers stream. It wasn't about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was about a sequel.
I agree.
That's what the threat was about.
1,000%. Well, okay. Well, if he's gonna piss on the fans' faces, if I can get a Batfleck live action project, and I'm not a Batfleck fan of his characterization, but I liked him. I thought he was playing the Punisher, but he tried to make it Batman, but Zack Snyder gave him the Punisher to play in BVS.
Yep.
I haven't seen this, obviously. I want to see this, but I thought he could pull it off because of the look, and I think he felt like an older Bruce Wayne. So I would like to see him and Deathstroke go against each other in either a movie or a mini series, and I really hope it happens. I really do.
He's gone.
And that's not a traditional Bat villain either. He's more a Teen Titans villain, so
Yep.
he's more
Yeah.
Nightwing / Robin, Dick Grayson kind of villain. Like he's not really a Batman villain, which is an
he has
interesting
this,
take to try to
he
bring him into
kinda-
that.
Oh God, we need
kinda-
Nightwing
Kinda used
ASAP.
revenge.
Stop
Fuck
having
the-
Batman
fuck the-
begin again and give me my
Look,
Nightwing, damn it.
I
Fuck
agree.
Snyder.
Stop having Batman
Fuck the
fight the
Snyder
Joker. He has
killing-
other villains.
Killing Dick
The
Grayson. Dick
ventriloquist,
Grayson is a
anyone?
fundamental part of they could even use him to replace
Hype
Bruce in the
man.
future and bring in Damian or Tim.
Condiment King.
Kind of Kite Man.
You know what, Godzillionaire? That's bothering me
Calendar
not
Man.
only in this. They do that all
Do
the
not
time
forget the calendar
in the
man.
DC universe. Like if you watch the old Justice League cartoon, it's just Bruce, Clark, Diana. Like
Oh, Godzilla.
Yeah.
I
the fuck?
meant to mention that. I do not like that when Superman was being revived and their real names are being used like Bruce
all the
and Clark.
time.
they
I'm like,
do that in
dude,
the comics.
what
they
are
do
you
that in
guys doing?
cartoons.
And here's another thing that doesn't make sense. If Clark Kent is dead in this movie, now Superman's life, is Clark Kent going to just work at the Daily Planet again? Like, oh, hey, how'd you come back the way Superman came back?
Clark was back. at the end of the movie. He was in Clark.
Yeah, and that doesn't make sense. So is it anyone like, hey, that's kind of suspicious?
Yeah, he did the traditional Superman reveal, right? With the dun 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 dun. Dun,
yeah, and that was cool to watch. But it's just like if he works at Daily Planet, they're like, oh, hey, you came back when Superman came back, and you died when Superman died. Really? Really?
We also have another Shazam movie coming.
This is why they should have never killed off Superman. I always said this is the stupidest thing that they did in BVS.
Or they could have done something smarter and at least, I don't know, maybe made something seem like he's not actually dead because you never know. Or have Martian Manhunter or something take his place. Just something.
That would really suck for Martian Manhunter. Like, he can be anybody, but he's got to be Clark Kent.
I will say, I love the way Martian Manhunter was revealed early on in the movie. That was a very clever way to do the reveal with the lowest part. I'm like, bro, that is how you do a reveal, man.
Yeah,
that is how you do it. Like that was a tease that felt right.
Moment between Lois and Martha.
It did kind of take away from that moment, and you're kind of muffled there, Fenrir.
Yeah, you're underwater there, Fenrir.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Are you in Atlantis?
A little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just, I'm getting a little tired about this. Just getting a little tired.
It is hard to go through this for a long period of time and talk about this. So it's a
4-hour movie. We've been talking about it for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
man.
we still got the whole
got
Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff.
We got 2.5
We still got the
hours
whole
to go,
Falcon
man.
and Winter Soldier thing going on. Don't forget that.
I haven't watched that yet.
I already forgot about it, dude. I forgot about it before it came out.
Seriously, I got a huge rant to go on that. I watched the whole thing and I already know where it's going.
All right. Well, we've been rolling on Snyder Cut for a better part of 2 hours now. So let's do final quick thoughts about Snyder Cut. And then, I do want to blast Falcon and the Woke Soldier for a little bit because, dude, there's some shit I want to talk about that show.
Oh, yeah, I'm going first.
I'm
going first. Dibs, going first. Dibs. First dibs. First dibs. First dibs.
See, I've got the master mute button though, so.
Oh, come on, dude.
All right,
dude, I call dibs.
Final thoughts on Snyder Cut. Thoth.
It was a good movie. I think it was better than the first one, 6.5 out of 10, which is actually a good rating. For all of you who know my Star Trek ratings, you know I'm a tough marker. I have my red pen out, so it was good. But I enjoyed it, which was a surprise. I went in with no expectations or low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I give it a 1.5 thumbs up.
All right, well, cool. All right, V-Dub, I know you haven't watched it yet, but after hearing us bullshit about it for the past hour 45.
Well, you guys have,
what do you think?
You guys have talked me into it. I kind of was talked into it yesterday. And a lot of people have there's been so much positivity regarding the actual film itself that, I'll talk, you guys have talked me into it. I'll find 4 hours to watch it and shout out to the kitty.
All right, and be careful when you're in Tortuga. Yeah.
No, I actually own. HBOmax is the one streaming service I pay for because my family has it worked out where everybody pays for the streaming service and we all get them. So that's why canceling things is kind of a hard thing. It's like you don't really need to go the Tortuga route. We all we've all figured a way around the Tortuga thing. It's a great movie and boring at times. That 4 hours is a real. It's
an undertaking.
That's why it's got conveniently marked sections and the pause button.
Yeah, I think I will be taking advantage of both of those in my watching. So it's not going to be one straight sitting. It'll be over time, but I'll definitely check it out.
All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Don't bring any liquids with you because I had to get up to go use the bathroom so many times.
All right, Flavor Flavs.
All right. Sorry,
Snyder Cut.
Final thoughts. I mean, I was very surprised with how much I enjoyed the movie. I mean, of course, being a comic fan, and I have to approach this as a movie fan. I have my complaints, but I can at least say I enjoy it, and it might benefit from rewatchability. And one thing, as a comic fan, I know Thoth and Fenrir, you guys will. I'm sure you guys caught that truck that said Gardner Fox. That was a cool little Easter egg. And then, of course, Ryan Choi, the second Adam. So,
Adam. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was very happy that there was actual deeper DC lore than just, oh, here's another Batman Easter egg. It was actual obscure DC lore for the hardcore DC guy like us. So I was happy with that. And Superman was actually Superman, not trying to be Batman with powers. That was nice. And Steppenwolf actually had a reason to exist. So yeah, it was a movie that was a big step in the right direction. It really makes me wish Zack Snyder had a balanced vision from the beginning. But I will take it for what it is. And like I said, at least 7.5 for now. It might go up. We'll see. I mean, the rewatchability and time is going to be the determination of how it's going to age.
All right, Ironcaster.
4 hours is a long time, though, for a rewatchability
It is
factor.
long.
That is a
Give it a
problem.
I'm gonna give it a cat on
Again,
a
bring
10.
no liquids, and time will go fine.
All right, Ironcaster. Final thoughts on the Snyder Cut, man.
It's definitely better than the Whedon version.
No, impossible,
I would
inconceivable.
never say so.
The nightmare scene was pretty cool, and I would love to see a video game done of that. That if we already did Injustice, come on, get down.
Yeah, with a lot of DLCs of the
You know
different suits and shit like that.
Yeah, you know what? If we're talking about a Marvel movie, we can have your opinion, Nova.
Oh, your cat's named Nova.
Yep,
I like that.
Nova
Alright.
Core.
All right,
Yeah.
Fenrir. Final thoughts on Snyder Cut, man.
Okay, me and Lord Thought here pretty much share most of the thoughts in this movie and all this shit like that. So it's literally a 6.5. And I am really pissed off with all the blackface. I would have preferred Iris was played by a beautiful redhead or a brunette because it depends of the arts they used to have in the comic books, but still would have preferred a beautiful redhead to take the place of Iris West instead of some actress we know nothing about who's just there because let's be honest, she's there mainly because she's brown as a diversity hire, nothing more. Probably not even her acting prowess. Just as a diversity hire.
All right.
I would have preferred an actual beautiful redhead.
Yeah, we need more redheads. Hashtag more redheads.
Save the redhead.
Hashtag, yeah.
Redheads are people too.
I absolutely forcefully denounce all forms of gingercide.
Exactly.
We need to start the Get Ginger's Souls Fund. That's the problem. The lack of ginger souls.
Yeah, Cartman has taken control of Hollywood. We need to stop him.
If you
All
have
right.
Respect my authority.
a Flash movie with Christina Hendricks as Iris West, you'd be pretty happy.
I'd be happy with that. Yeah.
I'd be
All right,
happy with that too.
Oh, he'd be happy.
Mr.
All right.
Freeze, final thoughts on Snyder Cut, man.
It's a really fun movie that makes me wish that Zack Snyder had control of the streaming services, because if he had the chance to just put out unlimited content, no time limits, just building his universe, I think he could do a great job, and I think this proved it. One last thing, I heard Kite Man was mentioned. I love Kite Man. He's real fun.
Condiment King and Kite Man, we need a team up.
Right?
What they've been
Spin-off
able to
now.
do with him in even that cartoon thing on DC Universe, he like fucking Ivy was dating Kite Man. Like just classic good fun
Harley
stuff.
Quinn.
Yeah, that was
Harley
great.
Quinn,
yeah.
That was great.
Animated
Yeah,
show.
I liked season
Harley
one.
Quinn
It
was
was
good,
pretty.
actually.
I liked season one. It was pretty good. The second season
It was
with the
its own
whole
thing.
wedding thing seemed like too forced and too fast for the moment.
I don't think I got there.
And the whole
Alright.
relationship seemed a bit too fast. I was okay with it, but it seemed too fast, the whole Harley and Ivy thing. Should have given another season.
All right, man. Dude, overall, fuck, I really liked Snyder Cut. I'm borderline saying I loved it. I know that I've now heard that at least a couple of our significant others were really impressed with this, and both of them fall into the normie category. And I think that should tell us nerds a lot about this movie.
Yep.
In terms of its
Holy shit, I
probability
wonder one
for
thing.
success.
Good point.
I'm wondering one thing about this Harley Quinn cartoon thing. I'm wondering one thing about the Harley Quinn cartoon thing. We know the Robins exist in this universe, so will they bring Dick Grayson in on this and do that whole Harley raping him story? Because again, she did do that to him.
Well, Wonder Woman's already raped the guy, so maybe.
Yeah, Eric K., it is definitely good that you say that you're not affiliated with Disney or Hollywood, and that, yes, I absolutely denounce all those evil things.
So the Harley and Dick Grayson stuff, could probably be done seriously and well if a movie wanted to. Because
Yeah, and I mean, he was a kid. He was a kid, and he probably was okay with that. I mean, a kid. I mean, Harley is an attractive woman.
I'm not saying that.
Harley is an attractive woman, so let's not go on that.
Yeah.
And that did happen again on the comics. He has a thing for older women.
It's just, at a certain point, every guy has a thing for older women, and then he just gets older, and he got a thing for younger women.
It really depends of the writer. They're not that much apart in age, too, depending on the writer.
I mean, but again, that's not really like the issue. It would be fun to just see how that could be handled seriously in a movie, because you have like Mr. Justice Batman, who would probably be upset about it, and a Dick Grayson who has had no real parenting in the last decade. That could be like an interest. I don't know. Batman has all these opportunities for family movies that I would totally dive into. But
Well,
First,
I'm okay
Dick
with
Grayson.
I'm okay with
a good Dick Grayson. Then first, you need a good Harley Quinn, because we haven't seen the good versions of those yet in movies.
I'm okay with Dick Grayson making use of his namesake. That's all. Just if he needs to, good for him.
Yeah, what is it?
It has to be with the
Preferably
crazy
on the
clown
hood of the Batmobile.
And if it has to be with the crazy clown lady, if it has to be with the crazy clown lady, there's no problem there. I mean, he's had worse. He's banged aliens, demons, and ghosts. He's had worse.
But preferably on the hood of the Batmobile.
So that's another thing. We're never going to get Batfleck because we have Pattinson on the hood.
Which is like, dude, come on. That's the most rock star greatness since Charlie Sheen was by winning.
Zero complaints.
So there was a rumor that they were going to like see how successful the Snyder Cut was, and then see how successful the Batman was, and go from there with which Batman they were going to go with. It was just a rumor. Successful.
That sounds
ridiculous. I don't know.
JP, there's a comment there by Godzilla in there. I need to tell him the bad news.
No,
let me tell you that they're not going to give us a good Star 5.
We got her.
They'll never give us a good Star 5.
We have
she looks like one of the cheap hookers. She looks like a cheap hooker. You're probably not going to give much.
Bro, have you been to Ocean City, Maryland?
Nope.
Then you ain't seen cheap hookers. If you go up the Maryland coast, you will just find place after place where the hookers look worse and worse and worse, and you are going to think you've reached the seventh hole of hell.
There are streets in Russia where the level of hotness of women literally just goes up the downer you go, literally, not figuratively.
This ain't Russia.
Russia's a good place when it comes to beautiful women.
Yeah. Go to Eastern Europe if you want, your tall blonde. Yeah, for sure. You ain't gonna get that in Maryland, bro.
No. I'm saying the fuck away from Maryland.
I can verify that about Maryland.
Hooker look, but she was bad makeup look. Like that Starfire was not right.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, she wasn't right.
You sound like a man speaking from experience there. So tell us more about your time in Maryland.
Please, do tell.
There was this one time where
I would know.
We're hanging out with the boys, and we see some commotion going up on a house down the
by
beach
the river.
Down the beachfront, and we hear some guys coming up, and they tell us that there's some hookers down there. We're like, okay, not really looking for that, and they indeed show up, and I think the three of them had 4 teeth between them.
Oh my God, that is just.
I don't know if they were dirty, covered in sand, or if that was just the texture.
Have you ever seen Futurama?
Are we talking about the teeth or the skin of the?
Oh, I just moved on to the skin. Do we go back to the teeth?
Because I thought we were just talking about like dirty teeth that were covered in sand.
Oh no! They could have been.
Falcon and Winter
I would have had to
Soldier.
start in that mouth to find out how creepy it was going to be. So people in the house down the road did that, and we were judging them all night.
Okay, Mr. Freeze, have you ever seen Futurama?
Yes.
There's this old hooker lady, blonde.
Don't refer to Ma as an old hooker lady. She'll beat your ass.
I think Jake wants to get into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Let's pop into Falcon, man. All right. dude, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Dibs,
I know at
dibs,
least Fenrir and I have seen this.
Dibs.
Hang on, Fenrir. We got to do an intro, buddy. All right.
We'll get to start.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, other than Fenrir and I, who else has seen it or experienced it in one
Seen
way,
it.
shape, or form? Nick,
Seen
you
it.
have?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Freeze,
No,
Thoth,
sir.
V-Dub?
I have not seen it. I have not.
Too many things
Okay.
to watch. Haven't got a chance to.
Well, we all did watch a 4-hour Justice League movie. So.
Yeah, right.
I've been
I'm
keeping
busy
up with Superman and Lois too, and I've
Ooh,
been
I'm gonna
finishing
start
off.
that tonight.
I've been finishing off American Gods too, so yeah, I haven't got to it.
All
Looks
right.
like
Hey, how's
Alexander
American
Man's
God-
seen it. He has his hand out.
How's American
Uh,
Gods going? Hey, how's American Gods going? I
This
kind of
season
jumped off of
was
that. a long time
absolutely
ago.
woke. SJW, awful. It is
Oh,
the
God, I
worst
knew that
show
was
I've
gonna
seen
go
since
that way.
Batwoman.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God, I
Oh,
knew
boy.
that happened.
Yeah, so
That's
It's just a matter of time.
bar.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a little bit better than that, Thoth, but not
Phew.
much.
High praise.
All right, so
Okay.
the good, the bad, and the ugly, high level, quick, and then we're gonna let Fenrir rant because he's dying to explode on this.
Yes.
So
I have a
uh,
semi-rant question too, by what I know, but I'll let you go ahead.
All right. So good initial action scene with Falcon. That was good. Good Winter Soldier trying to get through the guilt of his past and what we saw with Winter Soldier. Totally decent. Bad. Absolutely not cool with this whole fishing boat sisters business going under.
I don't think
Insinuation that they won't give Falcon and his sister alone because of their skin color.
This is the stupidest thing
that
to
was
be.
bad.
This is Falcon. They literally said in the bank, the guy knows it's Falcon. It would give a lot of good publicity if an actual superhero went to their freaking bank.
They
Yeah,
would.
very
So
bad.
this is what's the most implausible thing on the face of the earth. Why does any Avenger ever need a loan ever in the history of the world? Ever.
Right?
I said this on the Culture Casinos stream. Shout out to everyone there. But they were all saying, "Well, he was like, no. I got
Look, the
300.
Civil
I
War
get
thing didn't
super
affect
chats
me.
for $50 and $100, and I'm a loser because people like me. You're telling me people who save the fucking world wouldn't have enough people just giving them stuff and just as far as like gratitude from
Plus-
everybody? Wouldn't
plus,
banks actually
You don't
use
know
them
the
as
plight of black superheroes.
All right. And now,
Plus-
You can't relate to black
All right.
superheroes.
Now,
so
now,
stupid
you're
it
a
makes me not wanna
villain.
see it.
now we've discussed the good and the bad of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we have not gotten into the ugly yet. And the ugly is U.S. Agent. Holy fuck! He looked so bad. He was the ugliest motherfucker in a costume I've ever seen.
He's the son
Holy
of who again?
shit!
I heard he's the son of someone big. Who is it?
I don't know, but he was an ugly son of a bitch. He's even got a mask on, and you see the guy, and you say, "Dude, that is the ugliest motherfucker I have ever seen." It's a good, bad, and the ugly, high level.
Dude, Rajesh comment. That is huge. I got WhatsApp immediately after the stream.
I'm
Cool.
gonna wait until everyone else watches it. 'Cause I'm washing my. I got one more video to do. Washing my hands completely of it. I don't care.
All right, Fenrir, dude, you
All right.
have unrestricted rant time, my friend.
All right.
All right, are you ready?
Get
Are you
him,
ready?
Fenrir. Get him. I'm hitting mute.
All right, let's get this going. First of
Oh,
all, I
that's.
don't understand the
I'm
concept.
sorry. Just before you start, you were asking about U.S. Agent. Isn't that Kurt Russell's kid?
Yes.
thought it was
Right, Kurt
Russell's
Russell.
son.
I've got the
Kurt
stopwatch
Russell's
ready.
kid. Okay, let's go. 3,
1 minute.
2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, first of all, I've seen.
Wait, hold on.
I've seen some training. Oh, what the fuck?
Fire in the hole.
Fuck you out.
Can't give a player a countdown.
Ironcaster for the win.
Dude, you're a dick. You're the best dick.
Alex appreciated it.
That's what she said, by the way. You're the best dick. Go ahead.
Wait,
Maybe we'll
are
get
the
to
modern
this rant. Maybe
character-
are you talking about Fenrir's ex again, V-Dub?
I don't know.
We're just going to keep interrupting him, so he's going to get more and more worked up here, I think.
Yeah, I really do want to hear this rant. I'm going to shut up.
Okay, fuck off, Robert.
Hey, Fender, did you ever look at Blue Waffle yet?
No.
Oh man!
All right,
Hey, that's right, brightest day. Hey.
all right.
fucking
Are you ready, Ironcaster? Are we ready with the stopwatch?
Okay,
All right.
let me just start the bullshit.
All right, Fender.
3, 2, 1. Okay, first of all, I've seen combat scenes of Sam training with the freaking shield. How can he do any of the minimum of the moves if he doesn't have a super soldier serum? Literally, having a super soldier film is a huge factor in moving that shield around. It's literally it may be light, but still, the force that someone with super strength uses to send it away would literally be the maximum ability to just make all those crazy moves. Second of all, I dislike the whole sister with the boat thing too, because I don't think she even exists in the comics, and it makes no fucking sense that the bank would really refuse to someone like Falcon to allow him to get money, because again, that would give a lot of great promotion to the banks. First of all, this guy literally is a dangerous man with high tech and access to a lot of powerful people. You just really should not want to piss off, even though they're good guys, really don't want to piss them off. Second of all, I've been seeing a lot of huge BLM vibes in all of this, and anti-one world nation crap with the whole flag smashing bullshit. Because I can smell it a whole mile away. Second, they bring in Lieutenant Torres. We all know who that guy is. He's Joaquin Torres, the Falcon sidekick from the comics. So this is not a good sign. They are literally going to bring in the whole BLM storyline, turn Falcon into Captain America, and turn Torres into Falcon Jr., which will most likely also bring in the whole immigration bullcrap from the comics and all the robotic police brutality. In the whole bucket list, there were a lot of names of the senators that were against Sam becoming Captain America, so we're gonna see all the BLM crap just getting together slowly. So, yeah, and I'm against all this therapy thing for Bucky. I mean, I know he's trying to get better, but again, this is the Winter Soldier. He is a very dangerous man. You really should not be talking to him. I mean, even a normal therapist would kind of be scared of probably not talk to him at that level of point. Because again, this is a man who can literally crush your skull without a single thought. So yeah, and there's, for fuck's sake, why are they going to this direction of the BLM? I know they even how? There needs to be some common sense. I know they're trying to bring in all the BLM, but please just do it naturally. They don't need to do the whole skin color. There's literally numerous political positions they can go. Plus, at least give Sam the whole artificial super soldier serum crap, because they literally have the name of Powerhouse there, although they didn't show us. Now we have the Flag Smashers, which I'm going to assume either is going to use the Powerhouse thing formula to bring in them super strength so he can keep up with all the crap. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I'm seeing they're not doing completely turning all their diversity powers into OP. I really just want to see how they're going to do with the whole Flag Smasher girl leader thing, because I think she's going to replace the common leader, who actually seemed like a good leader because he actually seemed to actually care for his people when they were being beaten. So yeah, we can go to that direction. But it's really where this is all going to end with all the freaking bullshit. Because again, Bucky and Sam, they really don't belong together in the same storyline. They can go and allies into the same fight one-on-one because they're both Captain America. I don't really think it's going to go. I also enjoyed the Don Cheadle thing in the beginning with him showing up, but I really think this is just a huge propaganda thing for BLM and all the other police bastards. If we start seeing projects about robots, then I can tell you all, gentlemen, we are all absolutely and completely fucked when it comes to storylines. So yes, bullshit to all of this if they go the woke path. And
2 minutes. 2 minutes exactly. Clean stuff. Clean work.
All right.
Clean work.
Has he taken a breath
ever.
yet?
No, he didn't take a breath. If he
I don't
did,
think
I don't
he
know
took
how.
a single breath, Godzillionaire. Not
Yeah, I was
one.
gonna say, he didn't give still time to breatth.
I think it was the pressure of seeing that stopwatch up there that
He got it in 2 minutes, though.
the resistance that I kind of blurred out in the end there.
Yeah,
I was
I mean,
like,
he was-
oh my god!
He was
But he
moving.
had points. It was going.
No, there's good
Man,
points there. Actually, really. Good
This
points.
is what Fenver just ranted about. Is what I smelled a mile away before I even saw anything. Like I was like, here we go. Here we go. It's gonna be woke.
You know, I remember reading one issue of the Sam Wilson Captain America where he had to fight a supervillain group who literally call themselves the Social Justice Warriors.
Do it.
It's gonna be a long
Do it. Please, God, do it. But don't make them villains. Those have got to be your actual heroes that eventually
Not heroes,
Turn
but
into
allies.
That's going to become Sam's allies.
They're
That's
allies
what it's
until they're
got to
not.
be the allies.
I actually remember in the comics there was this group of 3 people who attacked some kind of college meeting about anti-immigration and police brutality too in the comics. What were their names? It was something wokey. I don't know. Don't really care about that.
What were you asking about again? Sorry, I missed that part. What?
So just a couple of things to point out. I am absolutely on guard for every single point that Fenrir made in the rant. 100%. I expect every last bit of what he talked about. Probably 90% of that is going to happen in this show. But that being said, most of it has not happened yet. Okay. And we do need to be clear about that because it's unfair. If we're going to criticize the show, particularly because of being woke or what have you, we need to call out what's actually there versus, in this example, versus what we're expecting. Because, we still got 5-6 more episodes. And
but that loan thing is a tip off, man.
Yes, that was like a screen. Well, not only that, there was another point even earlier in the episode than that. Okay. So Sam is giving the eulogy for Cap.
Yep.
Okay. And Sam is going on and he's talking about how we need a hero for the current times. And he said, whoever herself or himself is.
Forgot they.
Oh, they. He wasn't woke enough, as you see.
But it was also very, very intentional intersectional phrasing in what he said.
So
okay, now, right, wrong, or otherwise, traditional speech mannerisms have generally said, him or her, not her or him. Right, wrong, or otherwise is not important. The typical way that a person who is 30 to 40 years old in the year 2023, I mean, we're in 2021 now, but this is set in 2023. Okay, a typical person that age says him or her, not her or him. Now, if you're talking about particularly women in their 20s, maybe more of them would say her or him. Okay, but a dude who's 40 years old right now is generally going to say him first. So when you intentionally phrase it to flip that, you're making a virtue signal.
It jumps right out at you.
I agree.
It jumps right out at you too. It's obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Fenrir is right. Hashtag Fenrir is right. And I gotta keep harping on this loan thing. Dude, it's so implausible that it makes no sense. You're telling me with the event, like Tony Stark was this trillionaire, he left them nothing. He left them no money to operate.
Bullshit.
The government
it makes no sense.
He works for the government. He should know a guy.
Civil War thing. They can literally go with the whole Civil War thing. He pissed off the world's government, so they seized all his accounts, and he became a fugitive and that. But still, he literally had Black Panther funding him. Remember, he literally had Black Panther funding him. I forgot he still. Well, I mean, obviously, we know what happened, but relative to the story they have, Wakanda still exists. He still has the Kingdom of Wakanda, which is infinitely wealthy. Like, he should be able to get funds through his connections or through somebody. That's just insane. And so should anyone. Professor Hulk.
The Wakanda may be rich, but they use Swiss rich.
It's just
Tony Stark. Oh shit! This is it. Oh god damn it! Why didn't we know this?
He lost it all at GameStop.
GME. Hashtag GME.
Oh, was he shorting GME? Is that what happened?
Maybe he did. Maybe he just, they were just set to short GME.
And after we're talking about seizing assets thing. It kind of goes against it because in the beginning we literally see him give the shield to the government, so that means that his assets were probably unfrozen. It means that he still had access to a lot of money that was probably given to him when he was still in Avengers.
So, well, they didn't have GameStop stock, that's for sure.
Yeah. Or if they did, they had it shorted and and lost their shorts as a result.
Go back and watch Jake D's live stream on that whole thing. It was very well done.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I do remember that. Yeah.
No, don't.
Yeah.
No, wait. Wait, did the Asgardians still have gold and
Stonk.
Oh shit, Tony Stark.
That's better than Tony Stank.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Tony Taint. That's for sure.
I honestly, why I haven't watched this show is because it's for the exact same reason that V-Dub just said there a little bit. Like you could smell it coming, and why do a show about two D-list at best D-list characters in the Marvel universe? I can think of 1,000 other characters much better to do this.
Hold on
I'd
about
like
that,
to think,
because that's
right now. I'd like to think Drago Argenta is just subscribed to my channel. Thanks, dude.
All right,
Yeah,
Mr. Freeze. What do you got there, Mr. Freeze? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point because you have these two characters who are basically nobody to normies, but they exist to normies because they've been in these movies. And that's really important. They may be D, E, F grade superheroes in the comics, but they exist to the normies.
Yep.
So taking them as a launch pad for whatever you want to do creatively is a really good idea. Doing it for agenda and for politics and for social, what's it called when you're trying to like display your values to everyone?
Virtue
social
signaling.
peacocking or virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Doing all of that is wrong, and that's how you're going to lose it to the people who really matter. Because, like if you have kids, you're probably going to be, streaming Disney, but not everybody's got kids, and you can't just work it off of that.
But they're
I
boring
think it's a
characters.
really interesting
I
point.
see Wanda. I absolutely see Wanda and Vision. And
Yes.
plus, that was a great storyline back in the 80s. So West Coast Avengers and Vision and the
Oh
Scarlet
man,
Witch
the Vision
series,
Scarlet Witch is so good.
that was a great
Oh.
story. So
That's-
you have a great story to
oh.
draw on, but you
Oh,
don't
boy.
have that here. What great story do you have to draw on that's not post 2010 Marvel crap?
Well,
I mean, ideally, you could do like, the PTSD and the filling the shoes of your best friend.
But that's not the person who was handed the shield.
No, yeah,
Winter
no.
Soldier didn't get handed the shield.
I'm 100% saying theoretically.
Again, also, they could literally give Falcon some form of PTSD from literally turning into dust and dying. And then
Well, we know he does
Right.
because he was a soldier and he has PTSD. And as a man who has been diagnosed with PTSD, I get that. It's a great storyline, especially in today's world of mental health, and that's an interesting storyline.
Right. We would like
not
to
what
see
they've
that.
decided.
Yeah, and that's
right.
what I mean. Like,
Look at all the soldiers in the United States alone who would watch that show if it's done right. Get in some military boys, some law enforcement boys who have suffered PTSD to help the writing staff. Let's write good military stuff. Like both of them. You've got a World War II vet and you've got a whatever battles that the Falcon faced, right? I think it was Iraq.
Would be brilliant.
It was Iraq.
That would
I
be
think it was
good.
Iraq War. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I think it was Iraq.
the point is that you've got two boys suffering PTSD who go off the reservation. Sorry, that's probably that's a bad PC.
Still
term.
works. It still works.
But they
Oh,
go
man.
crazy.
I know what you
And
mean.
you got to bring them under heel, right? Because the military, you've got the Registration Act here, you've got the Sokovia Accords, you've got a whole bunch of stuff here that you can draw on from the movie. Let's go down that route. Let's tell a cool story. But that's not what they've decided.
Yeah,
Right, and so that's what I mean. They had the
They're not
foundation.
gonna do that.
Yeah, there
What's
were
that?
good stories available that they could have gone with.
Because again, another thing. Literally, we had an alien invasion, literal wars. I'm pretty sure the race of humanity doesn't
Have you
actually
seen
matter
The Border?
anymore.
Oh.
Oh, for fucking sake!
I also want to
Literally,
see.
in a
I
world-
want to see bad scrolls. I don't want to see these silly,
Immigrant,
terrible, good
immigrant,
scrolls we've
stupid,
seen.
can't defend themselves. Scrolls. I mean, this means we're not gonna get a good Super Scroll in this universe now. He's gonna probably be some kind of
Probably not.
minority slave from another planet who literally infuses DNA with the Fantastic Four so he can have revenge on his slavers and something like that.
Sorry, I kind of
live on
derailed
that-
a bit. I'm sorry, guys. I see this show and I saw the synopsis. I saw the trailer and the promos for it, and I went, as much as I stand these two characters, I don't mind these two characters. Just the storyline just didn't connect with me.
Yeah, and this is an interesting point that Alex is making, and he's not wrong. So in the after action, after Falcon's rolling around trying to catch that guy who's some random
That's right.
terrorist
That's
dudes.
the jumper.
Yeah,
That's the jumper. Another.
I
think
never caught the guy's.
I think
I never caught the guy's name. I didn't know who the fuck he was. And I
Batroc the
don't.
jumper, a French
Yeah.
supervillain who no one gives a shit about.
Well,
He's only
Batroc the
so down the
Leaper,
list and no one cares.
George
Yeah.
St. Pierre's character.
She's just
For continuity purposes from the Winter Soldier, I did enjoy that part. Maybe it's because obviously, yes, he's D-list compared to other Captain America villains. Yes, that's true. But George St. Pierre really did well with what he had. Oh, yes. And he worked. I feel like they really made him a more credible threat. I mean, to be fair, Sam's a bit way weaker than Steve. So he obviously was able to put up a much better fight against Sam than compared to Steve. They did do that right where Falcon couldn't just take him on the way Steve could. So they did play that part right. And that opening scene was bad. I actually felt like the adrenaline rush from that scene. It felt like a 90s action movie opening sequence. The big chase and like leaving you on the edge of your seat. It really knew what it wanted to be, and that scene executed very well. Even the CGI for a TG budget actually didn't suck, which was surprising. No, I actually really enjoyed that opening.
But my question is, did it suck you in like WandaVision did?
That
particular scene, yes.
I liked it, but Alex pointed out what took me out of it right afterward.
Yup.
Okay.
100%.
And that was so this here, right? So after action, after a pretty good action scene, right? Overall, it was solid. To Nick's point, people's power levels were aligned properly because these were just some fucking dudes. And Falcon is just a dude in a suit, and not even like a really, really good suit, just kind of like a normal suit. Although they did refer to it as Stark Tech, which was interesting. Given the fact that he had the Falcon suit, before he ever became affiliated with Stark, and Stark never gave suit tech to the military, but that's another issue. So they call his suit Stark Tech, and he's fixing his little red robot Red Wing, right? So he's sitting there with a handheld, what looked like a soldering iron, basically trying to fix his little Red Wing guy, which is microelectro. It was Stark Tech. That's what they said. So I'm going to take them at their word, said it was Stark Tech. And there is no fucking way that Falcon is fixing that in the field with a handheld soldering iron. I'm sorry.
Are you kidding me? Really?
No, I shit you not.
That's electronic. You can't do that with a solder.
Stupid bullshit. That's one of the most stupid bullshits I've seen ever.
As a forensic scientist, you can't do something like that with the. Anyway, so you said George St. Pierre is back in this?
Yes, as Batroc the Leaper. Yes, and he actually
Canadian boy.
He actually puts up once again because Steve is obviously much more stronger than Sam. That works to Batroc's advantage in this show, where he puts up a better fight against Sam than Steve could, because Steve at first was having a fight, but at the end Steve just kind of wailed on him, whereas Sam couldn't do as well. And also there's obviously the numbers game advantage. So I'm glad they didn't try to do a Mary Sue equivalent to Sam against Batroc, because you had all the dominoes set for it to be a Mary Sue equivalent for Sam.
So
here he is fighting the white guy.
Soldier, then.
They brought him back, and that was a really cool scene. And like I said, I actually felt like, oh, this is a great start. And then, then the rest happens.
Hey, clobbering time. Save on lives.
Hey, clobbering time.
Hey, Clabby. Good to see you, my buddy.
We were once talking about how they'll probably destroy Benny Lynn, so I'm pretty sure it'll be interesting on that.
Yeah, and then not right after you get that ridiculous field repair scene, then you give the whole Sam giving the eulogy for Cap, where he does that whole her and him thing, and followed up immediately by this BLM bank, I won't give you a loan thing. And dude, I can't get off that either, V-Dub. I get why that one gets under your skin, man. That was just bullshit. The whole fucking thing.
It's like
no form of intelligence whatsoever.
Why are they doing it? I know why they're doing it, but it's such a stupid thing. You're telling me the Avengers got nothing at all from all of the people who they saved, all the companies, nobody just not only that.
Avengers are overnight racists.
God, it's just insane. It's insane. It's literally insane to the point of unbelievable.
I mean, and if it was just an issue of Sam's sister wouldn't take Stark money or whatever the hell it was,
I'd rather you say that.
You know, I was hoping it.
I'd rather you said she didn't get the loan and she wasn't going to take money from him. Then that would have been a little bit better and more believable. She couldn't get along with her situation, and she's not going to take money from him, and so he's in this. Okay, I can live with that. That's fine.
And it wouldn't make it a lot of sense. That it would actually make the sister look good because it would show that she's a strong person, doesn't need anyone's help because she believes in herself.
You still get your wokeness. You get a strong, independent woman,
a strong, independent black woman.
There you go. You get
with 2 kids. With 2
see
kids.
How
they demoted her.
Yeah, exactly, Clobby. I mean, dude, Sam.
Thank you, Clobby.
Sam flat out said he didn't get paid in the show.
That's insane.
No.
That's insane.
That's like
that makes me so mad. I'm never. Oh.
All this is like saying Batman doesn't give a cent to the Justice League.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course he does. Just like he bought fucking Clark's house back at the end of the Snyder, of the Justice League movies, both of them.
Which that part actually makes sense.
He bought the bank.
Okay, I'm bringing here a rant. That part actually makes sense because if he buys the bank, then the Kent family doesn't have to worry about paying rent. Meaning that Clark can concentrate more on being a superhero. Meaning that he'll probably save a lot more lives with that. So that makes sense.
What we're getting here is we're getting a Captain America show without Captain America. So we're getting a third-rate villain. So Batroc is a mediocre villain, Captain America. Are we going to get Madam Hydra? Are we going to see Hydra? Are we going to see
Zemo again with the mask?
Zemo? Yep. You think we're going to see Zemo?
We will. He's
been
advertised.
Yeah, so we've already seen Crossbones, right? He took care of Crossbones.
Yes.
So are we going to see AIM? Are we going to see AIM? Advanced Idea Mechanics? Are we going to see Baron Strucker again? Or a version, maybe his son, Viper?
I mean, didn't AIM get, in Iron Man 3, didn't they get kind of
eradicated or whatever?
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Are we going to see MODOK?
I don't know. All right. Well, hey, guys, real quick, our good buddy 32 Flava Flavs has got to get rolling. So, Nick, anything you want to plug before you head out, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm on Minds, Twitter, and Instagram at NickWeiser. Follow me there. Subscribe to me there. Clobbering Times. Hail to you, sir. To the chat, you guys are killing it. You keep on killing it after I leave. I'm, of course, at 32 Flavors of NickWeiser. I feel like I have gotten better with my rants lately. I did one on the Z Snyder thing. And I've got my first MIDI metal documentary coming this week on the band Black Breath. So keep an eye out for that. So it's going to be lots of excellent stuff coming your way. So you gentlemen on the panel, keep it real, and you all have a magical evening. Sentient, hail to you, Alexander, Klobin, Rajesh, Eric K. You guys are all wonderful. Bryce Day, you all have a good evening. Till we all do this again next Sunday.
All right.
Peace,
thanks, Nick.
Peace.
Appreciate it,
guys.
brother.
Thank you.
I like how the one person who wasn't said it goodbye to.
Peace, Nick. We gotta do.
He's not used. This is his first time on the stream with you, Ironcaster. You got to remember, right? It's his first time on the stream with you, so you're not in his memory yet.
I just haven't earned it yet.
Nah, you're there. He just,
you forgot to denounce
brain, man. Stream brain.
Blame his head on his heart.
Dude, you forgot to say BLM and denounce white supremacy. So,
I guess I'll
you got ginger sided.
Play my race card.
You were ginger
you need to play because gingers are clearly a minority that everyone's oppressing. Like literally, you're way more oppressed than Sam Wilson.
I've mentioned it. I have the race card.
But Sam that loan. I can't. I'm sorry, guys in the chat that keep bringing it. That I keep bringing it up. It really makes me legitimately sick. It legitimately makes me sick. It's just like Clyburn said, Pepper would have taken care of the Avengers.
Hell yeah, she would have.
He didn't get paid. I didn't get paid the whole time. Shut up. Stop the whole show. Stop the whole universe.
She's loyal. They're family, basically.
But you know what? He was active military the whole fucking time, wasn't he?
So the government should have been paying him. Hell, the government should have. I'm sure the Avengers were U.S. funded. The hell, wasn't the Avengers funded by the government as well because they had so much connections? That was half of the point of Civil War.
Civil War, they were around Civil War. They were united. They were part of the United Nations, I believe.
Okay, United Nations. You're right. And then after, I'm sure there was some angst, but that would have been blown over by now with everything that happened with Infinity War and Endgame. So they'd probably be back in their good graces after that.
Really saved the universe.
They'd probably be back in their good graces, well funded by the UN. Again, it's just by doing stuff like this, you literally take me out of watching it. And it's like, I'm not gonna. I just said you guys talked me into the Snyder Cut. I'm not watching this. I'm not gonna even try. I'm not. If you I'll still come on the show and listen to you guys. You can spoil it all you want. I am not watching this crap. I'm not.
British Day, you're right. Once the Sokovia Accords were ratified, that would have brought them under government funding.
Absolutely.
Then Stark could have stepped back, and so Stark Enterprises wouldn't have been part of that funding process. But if there was an issue, Pepper would have easily stepped in.
Falcon is a superhero.
Yes.
Is a superhero with actual experience, training, and can literally go against meta-human, superpowered humans. I'm pretty sure many governments would want to have him working for them.
Yes.
Not just the US.
I mean, if they want to go really, really wrong with it, if you can't afford the latest in American technology, i.e., the F-35 or the super serum, you get the discount weapon. So if you're Nigeria or South Africa, you're not going to get the F-35. Get Falcon. So let him go to Africa. Just go asshole with it if you're gonna fucking do this, because it's ruining the stories. And 4 hours of Snyderverse is awesome because it doesn't have this shit. It has Amber Heard with her boobs squished together and up, and it's sort of distracting.
I didn't mind
It's two
that.
different universes. It's hard to compare.
I'm not
the
saying
universes
I
here.
mind it. I'm saying it's distracting because I'm like, I'm supposed to hate you.
Well,
I like being distracted.
But you guys can't see my eyes right now. Sorry, but they were looking.
Here's the thing. One of the pluses of the Snyder Cut is that there was never a talk about wokeness this entire conversation.
Never.
I've heard no one speak about that. And that is one of the main reasons it was such a fan push movement, because no one expected wokeness and no one got it. And man, I'm not gonna support a show or even with my interest.
Don't watch any Disney.
Yeah.
Dude,
And I don't mean to be like Jeremy, and wow,
no,
using
Disney
Jeremy
Plus,
this way would be kind of ironic, but he's the kind of guy who will say,
God,
"I don't
people
care
are
what
so
the person
fucking
says.
stupid."
Give me good content." It's the name the guy from Star Wars. It's like, I don't care what you say, as long as you make good content with Mandalorian, I'll watch it. Like Snyderverse, let Snyder be an asshole on YouTube if that's how he wants to keep his job, or if that represents who he really is. I don't know.
Favreau? Do you mean John Favreau?
I know we're going to jump out of the point.
I think maybe talk about
guys,
Pablo.
we're going to jump
Pablo
out of the point
Hidalgo.
Bring
here,
him
guys,
all
but
in.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, I know we're going to jump off point here, but I got to ask a question out here. Does any of you remember the Asian lady that played Psylocke on X-Men?
Of course.
Oh, I saw that. Olivia Munn. I already know where you're going, but go ahead.
Does
You know
anyone
what?
remember?
Canadian?
Yeah, apparently she's
Canadian, but not that
and
bright.
saying that
And
she
I'm not just
doesn't
saying
want
that because
white
of this.
people. She doesn't want white people writing non-white character like black people, Asians, and all shit like that.
Yep.
I really want to ask: are her father and mother brother and sister? Because we've seen this been done over and over again. Doesn't ending the same way over and over again. Being
Dude,
stupid,
V-Dub is right.
pretty much
She's just
making
not
people
that
never remind you of doing
intelligent.
anything good.
That was the whole joke on Attack of the Show, how stupid she was. She's not smart. I'm not.
I remember-
She's very stupid.
I'm not gonna rip into her. She's just not the sharpest tool in the
Yeah,
shed.
I'm
She
not
does
saying
dumb
that.
things, and a lot of times it's to her. It hurts her.
Someone
She's a
based on
female
race.
To destroy
pretender.
Aaron Rodgers,
That's
which
what
I'm
she's good for.
in favor of, because fuck Aaron Rodgers. But
Let me just say that I've had tube socks that were smarter than her, right? over the years, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
me saying that she's not smart is very technical. In the same way that I do not look like Henry Cavill when I take my shirt off, she is not intelligent. It's just a simple matter of states. Yeah, she's
She's
stacked.
beautiful. Yeah.
She's
I
fucking
remember her
stacked.
jumping into a pie.
I would give her a pie.
Or jumping out of a cake. I could handle her jumping out of a cake.
Or
Didn't she
or
like
100.
eat a
I don't
hot
mind
dog
her.
at a
I
string
would
at
rip
one
into
point?
her too, Robert.
I don't mind her in whatever she does. It's just like if you're gonna listen to what she says,
Me
I'm gonna
too.
say like, don't.
I'd rip into that too.
She
Yeah.
can swing that ninja sword at me all she wants.
Because
Right.
this is a- see,
Right?
she doesn't want to be remembered for anything good, doesn't she? I mean, because if you hire someone
like,
completely based on race, you're either going to get a complete fucking mess that is incredibly stupid, or the most racist thing ever. So she's never going to be remembered for anything good. I mean,
Well,
did you see the new? There's a new spin-off on an old show. There used to be a white guy who was a Chinese monk, and now it's about a
Kung Fu.
Asian girl taking
Kung
her
Fu?
place. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. It's awful. I used to watch the original one. It was
David
but I only
Carradine
watched
was in
3
that, yep.
episodes.
Yes,
I only
and he was
saw 3
great.
episodes.
Loved Carradine.
And he's
I
a
only
white
saw
man.
3 episodes of the
Kill Bill.
original, and just by seeing through this new one, it's going to be a shit ton of cliches. You can even see the family eating Chinese style in the American home. Look, there are Chinese families here in Africa. I met a few of them. I'm friends with a few of them. They don't eat with chopsticks in the traditional way. They actually eat a lot of non-Chinese food all the time.
I mean,
With
Chinese
spoons.
food in America
And the parents
Is
are
it-
literally
is a very
China.
interesting
They
label. You know,
They literally
it's more like
love
advertising
food
than
off-
really.
Fortune cookies were
They
invented in
love
California.
non-Chinese food.
Are you
They literally say
serious?
They love
Oh, yeah.
non-Chinese
Guys, we found somebody who didn't like the Snyder Cut. It's Clobby.
Hell, Clobby is
Get him
Clobby
on.
is a super lore guy. I love Clobby.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like
hate
I gave it a
Snyder.
6.5. And that's just because
Me
you know
too.
what? It moved. It was a story that I could get into, and that the characters were awful. They were. I had to get past that. These weren't
Me
the
too.
traditional DC characters that I loved. And once I got past that, I could semi enjoy the movie.
I gave it a cat out of 10.
Cat out of 10. Shout out to the cat. Shout out to
And-
Ironcat.
Just to show
Nah,
this
no
off
way.
to Brightest Day there in the chat. Oh,
Ooh,
Oh, dude,
Bam.
I like
I'm
that.
starting, I'm starting to get into the shadow. Thanks to that audiobook you sent me, I'm starting to get into the shadow. It is a pretty cool character.
the
And
fucking
the way he
OG
deals with his
Batman.
villains.
Dude,
Yo,
that
that
the,
deals with
the
his
cover of that book
a little
looks
weird.
great,
Cool.
Ironcaster.
Yeah, it was like it's as far as I know, one of the very few Marvel did anything with the character, and it looks a lot better than the new upcoming Shadow cover for the
Yeah.
new novels.
Is Shadow public domain?
I don't think so.
Goodness,
Wouldn't he
should
be?
he's
I
He's
mean,
getting
the
close.
Oh my god, they'll probably do the same Disney bullshit movie. But still, though, yeah,
You-
the Kung Fu. I just saw one trailer and it seems insanely woke. It seems cool in the martial art things, but
Yeah.
if we're going Chinese culture, there's not a lot of female Kung Fu monks. Literally, not a lot.
But my boy,
I
I'm
really
sure
doubt they are.
clobbering times, you and I will probably go in the old folks' home pretty much one after the other.
I've been saying I want to get Fenrir a mic. I don't know. Okay.
How do you know?
I got a big one so he can't swallow
Oh,
it.
screw you
Fenrir.
guys. I
mean,
would be
since it-
grateful if
leave
you got
Fenrir
me a
alone.
mic.
I mean, my
But no-
dentist says I have a small mouth, and I could probably eat the Yeti here.
Okay.
If there is, I've actually said that. Like, if there's any way we can,
I
send
still
you a
have my
mic,
wisdom
Fenrir,
teeth.
seriously,
They're
I would
coming out
really
next
fuck
month,
with
but
you.
yeah, this Yeti isn't too much.
Okay, but seriously, going back to Kung Fu,
I'm
I
not
think the
serious
main
right
character is
now.
just a huge Mary. She's a huge Mary Sue. No one watched that thing. The trailer just seems like she's just
Nobody's
gonna be
watching
beating
it,
the
dude.
living shit out of everyone. Because when it comes to martial arts, I know size really doesn't matter, but there's some form of realism into it. She can't just beat up a guy Dwayne Johnson size like it's nothing. There'd be some difficulty there.
I'll
Just
tell
if
you
see
what.
the main character's size.
I'll tell you what. On the street, I trained my partner. I trained a young woman, blonde, blue eyes, about 120 pounds, soaking wet. She's about 5 feet tall, and she was my partner, and I was her trainer. And let me tell you, if there was a guy who was The Rock size, or Dwayne Johnson, any of these, George St. Pierre, any of these guys that size, There's no way one-on-one she's taking them. That's when you teach them to fight dirty. The only way you're going to beat those guys is fighting dirty. And in this one-up, punching them in the face, they're just going to laugh at you because you have no weight behind that punch. It don't matter if you can bench your weight. When you weigh 100 pounds, you benching 100 pounds is nothing. But if you're 340 pounds and you bench 340 pounds, let me tell you, that is a getting hit like a 18-wheeler. You get hit by that. Bam. So, yeah, any of this realistic one-on-one combat where a 100-pound woman is taking on a 340-pound man, that's never going to happen. Let me tell you. You need your tools. That's why we have tools on our belt. You have the baton, the defensive baton. You've got your Smith & Wesson 9mm semi-automatic pistol with 15 rounds and one in the spout. That's what you're going at. You're not going to be going bam, bam, bam and going one-on-one fighting with anyone.
That second part about running is the main part.
Pokes, exactly. Yeah,
you don't get any
the family
for being in a fight.
Is this how you teach them to fight dirty right here, like Robert's saying? Is that a technique that you train?
That's a lovely technique.
You train. We laugh. That would work. Well, as long as he's not gay, I guess.
I don't know. If I turned on my cam right now and showed him, you wouldn't be impressed. But seriously, don't get into fights. You don't get points for being in a.
That's right.
You
Just
don't get
carry
points
around
for
a
winning
white
them.
flag. You're
Well,
good.
you do if you're a professional.
Just be smart.
I mean, yeah, if you're a professional, you get more than points. You get money, you get fame.
I mean, the
but-
trouble with
You get a 100-pound blind
versus
girl.
Shaw
Fights
fight
was
was
just
good. Yeah.
unrealistic as seeing Queen Latifah beat up 12 guys.
It should
You
be like
mean in the-
get one of those.
beat up
Wait a
one
minute.
guy.
Are we talking about the Shaniqualizer again?
Has that show been canceled yet?
Nah.
No.
No, it's got 3 seasons, I hear.
Make him a steak, Rajesh suggests.
That woman's being canceled.
That'd be a
though.
good
They're
distraction
finally
in
getting
a
rid of that
fight.
woman.
Offer to make a steak.
You know what,
Yeah.
Rajesh? You're right. You make a mistake.
finally getting rid of-
All you
Now,
wear
here's
is the cooking apron. You know the apron.
I heal the scrotum. Yeah, I think that's going to
Yeah.
be effective.
Although
Now,
Don't be
the
above
sequelizer's
kicking
not
anybody in the
getting
fucking
canceled.
nuts.
one
they're
thing
getting
I
rid
will
of
say.
Batwoman.
I'm reminded of a
Batwoman is
Gina
fucking
in
down.
I'm serious. Yo, if Gina picks a fight with you, kick her in the nuts. She's got bigger nuts. She's got bigger nuts than half the people I know. So
Gina is
guys
a
can both
realistic
feel.
woman. That is a woman. I can understand if I'm watching a show and Gina Carano is kicking some ass. See, I believe that because you know what? I just got to go watch
She's
her
an
UFC
actual large
fights,
woman.
and I'm like, wow, I would
and
be
that's
scared to
another
go
thing I was
one on
gonna
one with
say.
her.
well, physically, if she
These UFC fighters, female
she's
UFC
scary.
fighters.
hands down,
They are
she's
hard to hit.
she's
I'll admit,
aggressive.
she would definitely easily kick my ass, and I practice boxing.
That's what
She
I was
would
going to say.
beat me
practice. Yeah,
These UFC fighters, these female fighters, like, yeah, no one the rock size, but if you're not, like, you're within, like, you're 5'10", 180, and you're fighting like a trained UFC fighter female, she will kill you.
kill
If
you.
you
But
ever
if you're
seen, like,
180
Weili
pounds, if you're a 200-pound,
No.
5'9"
talking-
woman, and it's all muscle, and you're like built,
You're a killer.
Yeah,
You're a killer.
Yeah,
you're capable. Yep.
you can
Yep.
fuck someone up.
Yeah,
But not a
Her
6'7",
and the fucking
300 pounder.
Amazonian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not like
the hammers.
Yeah, I mean,
8'10" guy. No, but you can
Yeah.
fuck up a regular looking
But seriously,
motherfucker.
my brothers,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
rejoice.
A
My
soy
friends,
boy, come on.
rejoice. I have great news. Batwoman is finally canceled. They
For
will
real?
finally let it go.
I don't know if I
Yes.
believe that.
We can
Are they
all
filming
finally
season
smile.
3?
But yeah,
I heard it was
Valentina
renewed for
Shevchenko
season
winning
5.
the-
Yeah, quite possibly.
I heard
not.
it was going right to season 5.
Did you guys? Did you hear about
One,
Yeah, the
how?
numbers
two,
are going to
5.
You're correct.
I mean,
Research.
the show makes no sense at this point.
They have to just
I stopped
market that
watching
better.
for my own
They have to
mental
market
health.
that as a comedy. That's what they got to do. They got to market it as a comedy, and then people will watch it.
Yeah, that would work.
You know,
Pixar, it
reminded
didn't
in
happen.
Kung Pao, where they're like, "This is Wimplo. We trained him wrong on purpose as a joke."
All right, gents, we are pushing on 3 hours tonight for the stream, and I got to be honest, I am running out of steam, my brothers. So,
I'm sorry, Jake D. I know you just wanted to do a couple of minutes on this.
oh no, dude, I don't know. I I got no issue talking about this for an hour.
Basketball,
But
a bunch of pop culture guys like us to rant on these kind of things, and we can go forever.
Yeah. So, okay, final thoughts on anything Snyder Cut related or Falcon and the Woke Soldier related. Thoth.
Just as a side note here, what is this about Kung Pao lately? And every stream I go in, everybody's talking about Kung Pao. Is this a movie that I need to watch?
Yes.
Enter the Fist? Is that what it is, Godzillionaire? Kung Pao Enter
that one
the
is
Fist?
always worth watching.
Okay,
Watch it.
I'll have to cue that up. I think that I'm glad Zack Snyder got a chance to do his opus and to get this out there, because this was a much better version of the movie we saw. So well done, Zack Snyder. I hated what you did the other night, and that will forever color my opinion of you personally and professionally. As for Winter Soldier and the other guy, if I watch that, it will have to be when I actually have time, when considering there's good stuff out there to watch, like Babylon 5, classic Star Trek. Everybody go to Clobber & Times channel, subscribe. Saturday nights, we do a stream there with Raquel, Clobby. Outstanding. We talk about classic Star Trek. It is the best channel you can go to right now in dealing with Star Trek, the classic
I would
stuff.
love to do that.
Go there.
It's
amazing. So that was my shout out for the night.
I don't have a lot of Star Trek fans in my neighborhood. Literally, it's rare to
thanks
find a Star
everybody.
Trek fan.
Great panel tonight, man. It's great seeing you all. Ace, Ironcaster, Fenrir, V-Dubs, 32 Flavor Flaves. Everybody, thank you very much. And Jake D, man, glad to have you back, because I love these Sunday nights, and thank you for inviting me.
You betcha, man. V-Dub. Final thoughts, my friend.
Thank you, as I had to rush to click the unmute button. Because I accidentally, when I went to click it, sometimes I accidentally click a different button on my toolbar that screws me up. But my final thoughts is this, and this is something I meant to say earlier when we were talking about Falcon and the Woke Soldier. Anthony Mackie himself, he's given interviews that's actually pretty anti-woke. He's talked about the and it was from a few years ago, but he talked about the whole
He said that if you want to end racism, just forget about it.
Yeah, and he's talked about how they do the black creators work with black characters, white creators work with white creators. He talked against that, like how that's stupid. He talked about how they did that with Black Panther. I guess there were black crews, and he was like, well, basically you're saying none of the black crews can work on the Avengers, and there's going to be no people who can help Black Panther that's any other race than black. That's not good. I can't remember the exact words. So it's really weird, and not weird. I get everyone's just doing a job, but it's like he's someone who I know is not really for this agenda to be playing a character that's so for the agenda, and that's disappointing. Otherwise, I am going to check out the Snyder Cut. I'm not going to check out that series. I have no interest in that whatsoever. So
fair enough, man. You got anything coming up you want to plug, V-Dub?
Okay, yeah, I got clips coming out from the Brave and the Bold yesterday. We had Storyman Jack on yesterday. We just got him 300 subs on Culture Casino's channel when I was on there earlier, so that's cool to get him to 300 subs. Please sub to Fenrir if you haven't. I have like I said, clips from Brave and the Bold with him coming out, and then I have one more video on this whole Snyder fiasco, and I think I'm going to make a video on the Johnny Cage thing, because that's something that's just sticking in my craw as well.
Dude,
so I
call me for that. Literally, call me for that video. Call me for that video. I have all kinds of shit I want to stream on that fucking Johnny Cage.
Hey,
you don't mess with the ninja
I have
mind.
stopwatch ready.
Oh my goodness!
All right.
Don't get into the Mortal Kombat stuff, man, because I am a fanatic. I'm a fanatic.
Ironcaster, final thoughts, brother.
Well, I think it's been a good stream for the night. I'm later this week. I'm gonna try and get some more streaming done. Last week I tried to stream some Baldur's Gate, but I managed to get everything to capture except the game audio. So you got to listen to me struggling. I think the only time I picked up game audio was when it was loud enough to pick up through my headphones. But I wanted to end us out tonight with a little bit of some classic Shadow cover art.
Man, why can't we get art like this anymore? It looks so amazing. The
It's
lighting,
toxic. It's the male gaze,
character,
man. It's the male gaze. Look at that.
The woman, The
Dude, I haven't
two-
blinked in like a minute. I know what you're talking about.
Me too. I haven't blinked too.
That male
I'm
gaze
afraid
is like
it will
that
disappear.
burning feeling behind your eyes where you just don't blink for a while. You're like, what am I looking at? Oh, good art.
Yep,
mean,
it is.
I know he's the Shadow, but like, look at the shadow on his fucking coat.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking guns.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about
And the chain
1911s
even
earlier, and
looks badass. Can't even look
Oh, the Colt
badass.
1911s.
yeah,
Oh, I can't tell from this, from that, but I mean, that's just so cool. Damsel in distress, your villain on the other side. Classic
seconds
story.
away
And I've
from
asked
the
a lot of
danger.
women, and I've asked a lot of women. They love the damsel in distress thing. They liked being rescued by a prince, taken to a happy ending. Literally, a lot of them do. Few of them like the whole feminist save themselves crap. Because again, most women would really love to have a guy who would take care of them and get rid of all their problems.
So yeah, I just wanted
Economically,
to help send us out in the end of the night with a little bit of some nice art. And
Where's
It's
my
good
sauce?
art,
a little
man.
push
I
to
like that. I like
maybe
that.
check out
Really
some
good art.
of the Shadow. Razor Fist has his podcast just all about it, so that's a good introduction to the character that has helped me get into it. I'm reading through a few of the novels. They're great little pulp novels for like a 70, 80-year-old novel.
Hey. The wokes like
No, that's the feeling in the back of your throat, Max.
Just
So
stop.
the wokes
Just stop.
don't like the male gaze, but they do like the male gaze.
That's
I don't
right.
know. They gotta pick one.
Fabulous.
Mr. Fabulous instead of Mr.
The
Fantastic.
Shadow
if you wanna
knows.
say it. Yeah.
All right, Fenrir. Final thoughts, my friend.
Okay, I'm still basically full on the same BS that I was saying about the Snyder Cut, and also the same double BS that I was saying about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I truly think it's going to end up being a complete woke mess that I just really don't want to be associated with in any form, shape, or even sensual smell that there is known to man. Truly, this is going to be a nightmarish of many insane proportions, so fuck no for me, and I hope it's fuck no for you guys too. So in that regard, I wish for you guys to please subscribe to my channel. I want to make it to 100 subs without making a single video so I can break the goddamn record. But do not fear, for in 2 weeks, I will make a huge video with a lot of people invited. We're going to speak about Smoking the Bandit, Blazing Saddles, all kinds of old movies. And now I am also going to add the Gremlins, because I am going to look for that movie and I shall watch it. So I ask my friends, any tips on what to watch and wait about that movie?
I mean, anything Mel Brooks, you just need to watch if you haven't.
Yes,
Straight
all Mel
up.
Brooks. Do a Mel Brooks run.
Bit of a hot take. I like Gremlins 2 better.
What?
But there's a second Gremlins movie?
Oh,
Yeah.
you just I know what it is. He likes the stripper stripe gremlin. That's
There
what
isn't-
it is.
Hey,
There is an
where do you
underground
think-
movement that
where
likes
do
the
you
second
think
one better
Baby
than the
Yoda
first
came
one.
from?
Wait, there's a stripper striped gremlin? What's
Yes,
the
that stripper gremlin. That is one of the best scenes in that whole movie. I must admit,
Mama
it's
Yoda.
hilarious. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm also gonna watch Spaceballs. I hope you guys know what that is.
Yes.
Oh,
May the
Wait.
Schwartz be with you.
you've never seen
This is a
Spaceballs? Are
stream
you
I need
kidding
to be
me?
part of. This is gonna be great.
Well, I've seen 10 minutes of it.
Dude,
Never
we
more.
should do a stream
Absolutely.
with a watch along of Spaceballs, and we'll just leave Fenrir's mic on.
Hey, I'd be down for that.
Seeing him experience Spaceballs for the first time is going to be well worth the price of admission.
Does he have to be on camera though? I don't know. His eyes will be bulging out.
Now,
We
but
Don't have to be
found
on
shit.
But Fenrir, after you watch Spaceballs, you have to back watch Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. It's very important.
Wait, there's Spaceballs too?
The Search
How
for
many
More
movies have
Money.
I fucking missed in my life?
Yep, and then we can go through the history of the world part 1, and then part 2, which has here's Jews in Space.
Jews in Space is a classic. You got to watch History of the World Part
We're
2.
Jews in space.
Space.
Oh my good, Mel Brooks.
and
man, Mel Brooks.
Hitler on Ice. I mean, Hitler on Ice was a classic, right?
Eric K got my reference. Good man.
That's
And
right.
Springtime for Hitler.
You should definitely see the original. Absolutely.
I have so much
Men in
to
Tights
say.
is another good one. That's right, Alec.
Yeah, and it had Dave Chappelle in it, Alex.
It did.
Yeah.
Early Dave.
He had to stop in the middle of a fight just to go pump up his shoes for air.
Yeah. A Jew here?
Do you
man,
young
a
boys
Jew.
want the
That's my
circumcision?
name.
A black sheriff.
Why not? It worked in Blazing Saddles.
Guys, save it for the stream, guys. Save it for the screen.
Keep me
But yeah,
informed. I want to be
Yeah,
on
Fenrir, you can't miss History of the World Part 2 or Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. You got to watch those after you watch the first ones, okay?
They've jammed the radar. Raspberry. Lone Star.
Nobody gives me that raspberry.
It has been. I am very happy that I met you, old timers. You have taught me a lot about.
Wait. Old timers.
Dude, I'm 31.
Are you talking about
Good
clobbering?
stuff there,
You're
man.
talking about clobbering times like that. That's not very nice.
All right. Mr. Freeze, Ace, final thoughts, my friend.
So my final thoughts is that I'm really sorry that once again politics and agenda are in our shows. That being said, the Snyderverse is 4 hours long and has none of it, so enjoy. But to Fenrir, I would say on a more serious note, check out a few old movies. In particular, I will list a few. The Seventh Seal. Very important. It's about a knight returning home after the Crusades and seeing all the death around him. It's a black and white movie, and it will help make sense of Bill and Ted. So that's another movie you need to see. And also by the same director, Ingmar Bergman, Wild Strawberries. You will literally find yourself crying in that movie. And the first thing you'll think is, why the fuck am I crying? It's that strong. It's that powerful. Because there's important cinema too. So I would also say that the book club that I'll be starting is going to happen a little bit later. It's going to happen in May instead of April because I have to get my wisdom teeth removed. And we're going to be starting with General Clausewitz's On War, which is ridiculously slow. But after the great general decides to define every single term in the art of war, he then finally proceeds at about the 20% mark to get into the dumb generals who fought Napoleon, and eventually we're going to get to how he defeated Napoleon. So it's going to be a wonderful time.
Well,
I like it, man.
There's a whole subject there that's also worth mentioning is everything with Hollywood from before the 1933 Hays Code Act, which was where we got another one of those moral crises, they're corrupting the minds of the youth. That changed things. It was like every couple decades, that sort of thing seems to bring up. And there's a lot of 1920s, 1930s, 1910s movies that delve into a lot of really mature subjects. And there's a big tonal shift from after the 30s with this self-censorship. And
the only time you see these really deep movies are the directors who are really impacted by the Second World War. And the way they get their message by is really through allegory. It is all through like storytelling and imagery instead of actually doing, like just confronting the issues like they used to.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for these movies, but if you have any, I'm gonna look for them. But if you have any connections to links to places where I can actually see them or buy them, I will be very happy about that.
I will gladly put links in the Discord.
Do it.
I don't know if I should be offended by your remark in the chat there, Jake D, or just agree with you because it's probably accurate.
It's a Spaceballs quote, man.
Oh, is that what I thought it was talking about us there? I don't know.
No, it's Spaceballs.
No, it is accurate.
We're
What's your
quoting
name?
Spaceballs in the chat.
Oh, is that what we were doing? Okay.
Spaceballs.
What's your name? Major asshole.
That's right.
Airplane. Holy shit! I've heard so much about that freaking movie. Airplane.
Dude, yes.
You haven't
Leonard
seen
Kenny
Airplane?
Had a beautiful airplane moment where this
I've
lady is literally
seen
like,
Airplane.
let me show you
I've
my
seen-
girls. Let me bring out my girls. And he's like, have you seen Airplane?
Yes.
I've only seen the
Excuse
part
me,
of the old
stewardess.
lady.
I speak jive.
I've literally only seen the part of the old lady speaking jive.
Yeah.
Fish and the chicken.
Surely you can't
I-
be serious.
Well, they either had the fish or the chicken. Ah, yes, I had the lasagna.
I
He's
just
my
want you to
cousin.
know we're all counting on you. Good luck.
Alexander is he's my cousin.
Wait, that's where that reference comes from?
Yes. It's from Airplane.
Oh my god, I have so much to watch.
I actually
Leslie
wouldn't mind
Nielsen
watching Airplane
is
again. I haven't seen
a
it in
genius.
like 10 years.
All right. Whew. Well, guys, we have been going for 3 hours, and boy, this is a good stream tonight, man.
Wow.
And Rajesh, I'm glad you're still here, man. I think, dude, if you're still up for chatting about a good movie, I was thinking Tropic Thunder. I'll give you an email after we wrap up the stream in a little bit, man. We'll set it up,
Wait, is
set a
that the
time
movie
for
where-
it.
Wait, Tropic Thunder. Is that the movie where Tony Stark?
Yes, yes, it is.
You gotta see Tropic Thunder film.
Well, you know, we all kind of went full retard tonight. So yeah, absolutely.
That we definitely did.
Oh, and now we just nuked the stream for saying that word.
Is that
I
a
didn't do it.
usable word? I'm sorry.
Not 3 hours in.
It's
but
good
yeah,
to do it at the end than in the beginning.
Yeah.
in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, that can nuke a stream.
Oh, that's
I don't know. I'm seeing people sniffing glue in the chat. I'm like, geez,
All right, my God, everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight, and it has been subscribe to every one of these gentlemen's channels. Just Another Redshirt has been a yeoman wrench in the chat, dropping the links all over the place. Eric K has been helping out as well because, well, you know, he's the mensch wrench, right? But thank you so much for being here tonight. We are here every Sunday evening. We've now shifted slightly earlier to 5 p.m. Central Time from our old 5:15 time slot. Every single Sunday evening with these guys and a few of the other guests, just, you know, chatting about the shit that comes to mind, like the Snyder Cut or, you know, Falcon and the Woke Soldier, whatever it is we need to talk about, man, we are here for it. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat, thank you so much for being here. I'll shoot you the details, Rajesh, but we use StreamYard is what I use generally. It's just
Please, all of you remember, the clock has restarted. 3 weeks from now, we're going to talk about all these crazy movies in my birth stream.
outstanding.
Reset the clock.
Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll catch you on the next stream.
Peace.